Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Fourever Rivals. As you can see, we've only got 3 of the rivals on because someone, it's just weak, couldn't come on. So I don't know what's happened. Just a week, typical bloody Collingwood, mate. Just give up. If it's not the umpires helping them out, they can't do it on their own. So he's off. But we're still going to have a big show, and that's it. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Liam. How are you, mate?
Oh, we're doing good, mate. We're very hot over here in WA, but we're good. We're good.
Good, nice, mate. And then you got the bomber up the top there. Look at you, mate. I don't know what you're smiling about, mate. It's all down.
I'm always smiling, Rocco, mate. What's happened to Manny tonight? What's going on? I thought he was the GOAT, mate, the greatest of all time.
Manny. I'm telling you, he's weak, mate. He doesn't go to games. You know that. He only got a membership because we bagged him, right? He's not a true supporter. Liam, you weren't here, but 2 years ago, he tried to pass over one of his mates' memberships to say it was his. He wouldn't even buy a membership. The bloke's a fraud, and he's a plastic supporter, mate. So
I'll have to chat to him about that next time I see him.
Well, next time just ask him, but he'll show you. He shows you this year's membership like it's some sort of trophy, mate. For us, it's just a standard thing. But anyway, plastic supporter, yes.
He might surprise us a little bit later on, Rocco. He might surprise us, mate. He might just jump on board, through the viewers' request there. So hopefully,
the only thing that would surprise me. The only thing that would surprise me about Manny is if he knew anything about footy. That's the only thing that would surprise me, mate. Hey, we got all our favourites, Enzo. Oh, look at him. I don't know why, but I got a good feeling about the next 2 games, man. If we win the next 2 games of Doggies and fucking Collingwood, mate, we're back, mate. We are back. Matula, how are everyone's favourite Greek? Matula, welcome. There are 1 winner. Yeah, there is 1 winner, but he's not here. Who we got? We got Rocco Bottle all the way from your neck of the woods, Perth, man. So Rocco there. How are you, mate? Oh, and of course we got Scotty. I hope to see you on the. Hey, you're probably going to have to come on later, mate, because Manny owes me an apology. Yes, we're going to talk about that. Yes, he does. Enzo, one of our favourites here. Adam.
Evening.
Welcome, everyone. Who else we got here? Oh, we got heaps, man. It's a lot of new people. Who's Kay? I don't know who Kay is, but Adam has a prize. There's more free kicks. Umpires give the Doggies 4 goals head start. Yeah, it must be a thing, mate. We can talk about that later.
Oh boy,
we can talk about it. Oh, thank you very much, Lone Wolf and $5. Thank you, my friend. Maybe Black and White United should be a replacement at least. He's got a membership. If Black and White supporter comes on, and he did say he was going to come on, I'll get him on early and he can talk about his game last week. So, yeah, he's more than welcome. At least he knows what he's talking about, eh? And, so that's it. Are we ready to get this ball rolling?
Boom. Let's get to it.
Let's go. We'll start with this. So before we go, I just forgot, of course, man. Thanks to the Sporting Globe, Northland, and also Water Gardens. Thanks for getting on board, mate, and thank you for supporting the channel. So make sure you get down there. Also, we got round 5 against West Coast. Is the TJP catch-up. West Coast and Carlton are going to be watched live at the Sporting Globe. Everyone knows about it. They watched it last night. So if you get onto if you get onto Try Booking, tickets are free, but you grab your ticket and just so we know numbers, but they're all for free. I'm telling you, they're going quick. Last night, I think we already got about 40 odd people already coming to the event, mate. It's going to be grouse, man. All the Carlton supporters watching the Blues, mate, at the Sporting Globe. the new venue to watch the bloody. At least we do shit like that. What do Essendon do? They do nothing, mate. What do you do, mate? You do nothing at the hangar over there.
Mate, I like how you've picked the one game that you might actually win against.
No, we do. No, you're absolutely wrong there. So that's what happens when you young snappers jump in too early, right? We are doing every interstate game at the Sporting Globe. So naturally, we're not going to do home games or games in Melbourne because people aren't going to be there. Yeah. So all the interstate games, we've organised the room at the Sporting Globe, our own private function room. And what we're going to be doing is getting all together because people just watch it at home or you watch it, at a pub or something. We're all going to get together and watch an interstate game. So, Liam,
is it just wrong.
We have actually got one over here. We've got a Richmond WA supporter group. They meet up at a few places over here.
Yeah, that's what we're aiming to do, man. We're aiming to all the interstate games, just get everyone together, and we call them the TJP catch-ups. There's going to be giveaways, there's going to be raffles, there's going to be all sorts of stuff. We'll get all the Blues there. There's going to be food, drinks, man. So it's going to be good, man. I thought
it's just Carlton supporters that are going to be. So I'm not invited. I can't go and have a beer with you, Rocco.
So this is the deal, because we talked about this last night. This is the deal, man. Like, if you wear other clubs' colours, you can't come in.
Oh, right. Okay.
You can't come in. It's like when you go to a home game, we get annoyed at the Legends Lounge, because we're Legend members, right? When we go into the bar, the Legends Lounge, we see opposition supporters in there. It's our home game, mates. You shouldn't be allowed in there. If this happened overseas, mate, there'll be riots, man. So you can come, but you better not wear your gear, mate.
So I can wear like a Spud uniform or a potato or something like that.
You'd be able to wear a Spud uniform, and because that absolutely represents 7,500 days without winning a fucking
That's okay. That's okay. As long as I'm welcome and no one knows who I am, I'll be safe.
How are you, black and white? I'm putting my son to sleep at the moment. Well done. You put him to sleep. You know what you should do? You should get him to watch an Essendon game and you can put him to sleep straight away, yeah?
Oh, yeah, Rocco. Whatever, Rocco.
Already. We've got to him already. I like it. Hey, black and white. As I was saying before, I don't know if you heard, but you can jump on a bit earlier. I'll chuck on the link and you can give a review of your game, because as you can see, Manny didn't show up because he's weak. So mate, just jump on a bit earlier. We're going to go through some stuff now, but then you can jump on a bit earlier when we go through the games, and you can give us a bit of a talk about how your team went. So how's that sound?
That's the one, the Empire.
Let's talk footy.
Right. Let's talk footy. What's this one say? This is someone I know, Rocco Mori.
That's the bar where we have the Richmond ones called the Empire Bar.
That's sick, man. It's a good idea, man. It's a good idea to get everyone together, man. That's all we intend to do, mate. We are here at the Jumper Punch, man. We unite everyone. We're about everyone, mate. We're about everyone here, man.
I like it.
All right. Yeah, no worries, man. Black and white, you just take it easy. We're going to talk some footy now. What's the first thing on the agenda? Liam, what's the first thing on the agenda?
We've got to talk about the man who a lot of people talk about, Harley Reed, and his little bit of an action that he had on the weekend, not on the field, but towards the fans. He gave them the finger. What do we think about that?
Well, what do you think about it? Since you brought it up, what do you think about a player showing some emotion? I'm sure he was copying it too.
Yeah, look, it's a little bit cheeky, but I think we're kind of all in agreement in this one, or at least I hope. We like having our personalities in the game. There's nothing wrong with giving a bit of cheek. They came out with him. I think one bloke ran down with tissues to give them to him, So, it's a bit of back and forth. And you mentioned one at the start, the North commentator behind the goals giving the fingers as well. So it's a bit of a double standard, isn't it? How come she can get away with it and Harley can't? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly right. They posted
he does need to play a bit better football, but yeah, I reckon, if you're getting a bit of stick, nothing wrong with giving a little bit back, is there?
I mean, I love it. I mean, everyone's getting a bit too precious now about all this stuff. They're getting a bit too precious now. So it's something that that's done in society, man. I give the finger every day. I'm in the car, man. I'm telling you, I give the finger to everybody, mate. And it's all good, you know. So, but I think, but it's not only just the finger for me, it's everything now. Like anything a player that does that's a little bit different or controversy, they try to take it out. You know what I mean? They try to sanitize this whole game now. And I think we're never going to. We're not going to see the Jackos and I know these are old school, but like the Jackos and the Favolas and, you know, all these players that has a bit of personality and showed it up, man. They pass the white line, mate. They get pumped up. They have a bit of an emotion and they go, no, you have to stop and you have to play the way we tell you to play. And I think, come on, guys, what is it? Marco?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, look obviously the young kid's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. You know, he's a bit confident and, you know, obviously he needs somebody to settle him down because at the end of the day, they are professional footballers. So, you know, they're going to get so much scrutiny, you know, in the ground and supporters bagging them and telling them how crap they are and whatever the case may be. So he needs to be, you know, a little bit more calmer and more professional. And these boys get paid, you know, big bucks now to play football. And just play football. So he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, but I think that will eventually, you know, come down. You know, as you know, hopefully he might just come towards the Bombers, and they'll end up eventually, you know, put his you know, head down and say, don't worry about what's going on out there. Worry about playing football. So he's a young fella.
We don't want to wreck his career already, do we?
What's that?
Send him to Essendon. That's not nice.
Anyway,
I think he will come to the Bombers. I think he will come to the Bombers. We're playing our cards at the moment. So, but yeah, like I said, he's a young fella, and obviously he just needs somebody to give him a couple of whacks across the chops there and tell him to settle down. And footy is the way it is, and you know you can't worry about what supporters and that are saying on the ground. You've just got to be able to be professional and play the game to your strengths.
Yeah, no, you do make a good point. Yeah.
No, I don't reckon you do make a good point. First of all, Chol apparently gave the finger twice last week and wasn't caught on camera, but that's okay. And of course, Michelle, she's absolutely right. Murphy gave the big finger to the Collingwood cheer squad a few years ago, mate, and that was thanks to the whole of Australia. So that was great stuff there.
Yeah, lovely stuff.
First of all, I hope you do get him because not only are you paying Mackay $1.1 million, right? You're going to pay him $2 million and your team's still going to be absolute rubbish because you got more problems than just one midfielder. The second thing is...
His brother's not doing that best. His brother's not doing the best.
But we're not paying him like a 1.1 for a backman.
It's not about money, mate. It's not about money, Rocco. It's not about money. It's about winning games.
Because
these big clubs have got money. They've got money. They'll pay any player.
You keep paying them. Keep paying the big bucks and see how many more games you lose. And apparently you're on a rebuild and he's going to come over there because your bloody team's rebuilding, apparently. Well, that's what your players are saying. And your coach didn't deny it. So, again, now what you've done is you've taken a backward step and you're trying to now make everyone bloody calm down and telling everyone you're rebuilding. All right, so you've been rebuilding for the last fucking 20 years. But anyway, we'll talk about Reed again. Talk about Reed. First of all, he's a young kid. First of all right, just sook away with your shit side. I don't want to hear about it. We're talking about Reed, right? We're talking about Reed. This is going to be Harley Reed. You reckon you think after your team got chips, mate? What you think that after your team got 25 goals kicked against it, you absolutely look like a VFL side. You want to call my side potatoes? Have you seen the percentage of your side? You're a disgrace, man. You can open up as many chips as you want. You can how many chips as you want. You call us potatoes. How do you feel about last week? You showing the potatoes. And now you absolutely got a little bit of this into you last weekend, mate. That's what happened to you with no lube, mate. This was you guys on the ground as Adelaide was coming in. right?
And
That was you. So hit the road with your
shit. You boys didn't really impress us.
It doesn't matter.
Mate.
It doesn't matter. You did
it doesn't matter, does it?
Walking around. You're walking around with, I'm going to win by 5 goals. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And what happened to you? If you watch our show, mate, we were completely honest about our side, mate. We were completely honest. We were both weeks. We've been completely honest about our side. We knew exactly where we are. We've talked about the coach. You are living in La La Land, mate. You're living in La La Land, and then you eat Smith's chips. Are you serious?
No, I haven't eaten them yet.
Spuds. Talk about fucking spuds. Anyway, let's go back and Draper. Oh, yeah, let's talk about Draper. Oh, should we get rid of him? How about you get rid of the red
Draper? Oh, mate, he was hard to watch.
He's
lining up the snaps in front of goal. I hate
sideways kicking. He's a dickhead. Anyway, let's go back to Harley Reed. I don't want to talk about losers again, but let's talk about Harley Reid, right? First of all, he's a young kid. All right, what did I say about over-talking me, right? What do I talk about over-talk? Mate, we're not the ones who are 7,510 days without a finals win, mate. 7,510 spud days. All right, let's go.
30 years premiership. 30 years premiership.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. 7,510 days. 7,000 without a finals win. You don't even give yourself a hope. A hope. Okay. Is that okay, is it?
Here we go.
You say to me it's 30 years. I say, no, that's not okay. That's not good, right? You say to you, 7,000. Oh, no, that's okay. Yeah, go and get Harley Reed, you bunch of hacks. You know what? Him and your stupid coach can go there and sit dinner and drink bloody tea with their little finger poking up. Hit the road. Anyway, back to Harley Reid. Stop interrupting. Right? Just worry about your own shit side. About Harley Reid. He's a young kid, mate. Right? He's a young kid in the second year. The bloke cops him, mate. He cops it by men, day in, day out, man. Getting tagged, getting hammered. And then he's copping it but he must have been copping it by the crowd last week, yeah? So he shows a bit of an emotion and he puts the finger out, man. Take it easy. Like you talk about, like people talk about, like like mental health and that. What's this about? You're making a big deal over a kid putting up his finger when he's giving his heart and soul of a thing. And then, Mark, you go, oh, we've got to put that out of the game because they're all professional. This is the problem now. Because you want to sanitize everything, mate. Like we tell them to go out there and we tell them like to just be free and play a good brand of footy and have some fun. That's what we want. We want them to have some fun, have a bit of emotion. You've played sport before, Mark. Have a bit of emotion, mate. And then we're saying to him, oh, but you know what I mean? You got to be like, he didn't do anything. He wasn't racist. He didn't do he didn't do the Nazi thing. All he did was he told the crowd to stick that up your ass, mate. There's nothing wrong with that, mate. And if you satisfy that, what's next? What's next? Are we going to get to the stage where they're just robots? That's my say.
I think you're spot on, mate. Yeah, we don't want to take personalities out of the game. These, mate, everyone over here, everyone wants to go watch this kid play football. There's so much hype around him. You know, these are the kind of players that we want to see in the game. I think it's boring if you try to cut it out and sanitize the game, as you say. We don't want that. If he's going to do a little bit of cheeky stuff, that's fine. But we can suck it up. Like you said, it's nothing bad.
And that's spot on, Liam. But at the end of the day, show on the field, mate. Don't show it to the crowd because the crowd, regardless, as a young fella, he's going to cop it for the next 10 years, mate. So he needs to learn to just play the game. And don't worry about what the scrutiny is on the ground.
What about if he just what about if a player, after they kick a goal, right, they go up to the cheer squad and they put their face in? Is that all right?
That's celebrating a goal. You're celebrating.
No, but that's celebrating my victory.
You're celebrating. Come on, Rocco. You're putting your finger up like that to a crowd.
I disagree with you.
That's being immature, mate. Professional footballers wouldn't do it, Rocco.
Sorry, man. I disagree.
Just let it go. You know.
The example that Rocco gave is the same thing. That's unprofessional. Why do you need to go and brag in front of the crowd, put your face in front of them like that. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
But we don't mind it. It's a bit of attitude.
He was celebrating.
What's the best thing they're going to do? You know what I mean? Like, pull their pants down and flush a brown eye and say, "Oh, hello." You know,
there is some cases where there is taking it too far, but
the young kid has got a chip on his shoulder and he needs to settle down and just play football and don't worry about what the comments are around him and the media and so forth, what's going on. Play football, show it on the ground, and he'll be a great player in the next 15 years. If you start retaliating against what people are saying on the ground, that to me is not control. And that's what comes down to.
It's not control if you run up to the cheer squad. It's not control if you run up to the cheer squad.
And do what?
And go up there and fucking put your face in it. You might as well put your finger up at him. It's the same thing, mate.
It's a big difference, mate.
No, it's not a big difference.
It's a big difference, though.
So you're saying the player should be able to just go out there and, if someone says something in the crowd and go, "Oh, yeah, up yours."
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, you've got balls enough that you want to scream to a player. If you want to do it, you've got to expect it back. Why is the footy field the only place that you can't do anything?
I can see the player doing it against the player. If the player is there and antagonising.
No, you're saying that he can't do it at all.
No, I'm just saying that he can't do it against the crowd, mate. The crowd.
So what?
Come on, Rocco. How many things have you said against the player
no.
that he would look at you and say, "Rocco, shut the fuck up, mate. I'm going to grab you after this game."
And if you said to me after I'm playing a game and you're screaming over, "Oh, you're shit," and then I score a goal, guess what, Mark? My finger's going right in your nose.
You're gonna go, "Yeah."
Up you, I'll put it right in your nose.
If I'm a fan and I go watch him play this week and he does something that I don't like, can I go and give him the finger? Can I go do that? Is it okay if I do it as a fan against the player?
No, well, that's up to the ground control, mate. Security and cameras, mate. If somebody's out there continuously,
I understand that,
continuously putting their finger up and screaming abuse to the players.
This is what I mean by the double standard. I can go to a football game and do it, but a player can't do it back.
It wasn't continuous.
No,
it was a one-off.
These guys get paid a lot of money to play football, and that's their job. That's their job. Their job is not to communicate with the crowd. Their job is to concentrate on playing football.
He was playing football. He didn't stop playing football. It was a moment in time where he's put up his finger with some emotion. If you stop that, what's next, Mark? What are we doing here? We just want them to be robots, man. You just want everyone's got to control everything and everything we do. Like, seriously, is this what we're worried about? The finger. This is what's wrong with society now. Everyone is so precious about everything, mate. Like, is this what we're worried about? Is this the news? Is this what the AFL's worried about? How about the AFL worry about your fucking umpires and the way they've been umpiring, right? Instead of worrying about, you talk about, I don't get, this mental health that everyone's been talking about. What's that doing to Harley Reed now? They're stressing him out that all he did was, in the moment of emotion, come on, bro, man, this is ridiculous.
No, I'm with you, Rocco. I understand that, but what I'm just saying that they're professional footballers and it's just not acceptable anymore.
Like, there might be professional footballers, but they're kids, mate. They're kids.
Well, they're kids. They need to get their heads put in and under their ass and say, right, don't retaliate.
And they have. And from the day they get there, they have. They get more scrutinised than any person in society. Any person. They get more.
That's what I mean with my point.
You ever were at 19.
Yeah, that's what I mean as a fan.
And now what you're doing is taking away their enjoyment. Man, he was pumped, mate. They must have been giving it to him.
Spot on. I'm with you, Rocco. I know that. But he needs to control that. And as a young
he will, mate. He's a kid, but he did nothing that was that bad that we need 4 days of fucking news on it.
No, correct. No, but my philosophy at the end of the day is that you're a young fella. He has got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. That's what I was saying. That was the start of the conversation. He has got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's a bit aggressive. He retaliates. He's only been playing a couple of years of football. Just settle down, play your football, and show it on the ground. Don't show it to...
Don't show it on the ground. He's one of the best players. He does show it on the ground. I mean, you just finished 5 minutes ago saying that you want him at your side. So he just showed it on the ground.
But I wouldn't want that in the Essendon Football Club, a player that's, just retaliates against, what the crowd is saying. Fuck that, mate. Don't worry about that. Play football.
A bit of fun, man. Don't you love, man? This is what's wrong with football.
Have fun on the ground. Have fun on the ground against your opposition. Have fun on the ground against your opposition, not against the bloody crowd, mate, because the crowd is there.
The crowd's part of it, mate. If there's no crowd, guess what? You're playing at bloody Donald's Reserve here and no one's watching you.
Well, hopefully it doesn't happen with a lot more players going out there putting their finger up at people in the crowd, because that's just not on. I don't believe that's the way to go, mate.
But you are a bit soft anyway, because you reckon that people shouldn't even swear in the bloody crowd, mate.
Yeah, correct. In some matters of what some of the crowd do tend to say, it's not acceptable, mate.
It is acceptable. It is acceptable. It is acceptable. If you can't handle it, don't go. We pay our money too, mate. We can say whatever we want, as long as it's not racial or, like it's something, mate. You can say whatever you want. I can say whatever I want to the players. That was another thing we could talk about now, right? There's another thing. I believe maybe you could say whatever you want, mate, as long as you're not bloody racial. What the word fuck? Is that what offends people these days? Mate, there's a lot more offensive in this world, mate. There's a lot more offensive. People got to stop with this rubbish. What about all right, let's move on quickly then, right? What about what happened to Melbourne with them coming off the race and the cheers and our supporters just yelling at them like that? What do you think about that? And also people in the chat, mate.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think about supporters just berating their team?
Yeah, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. You don't want that for your club. But yeah, it's a bit of both. I think it's you want to let them know that you're disappointed as a fan, as a member of the club. But yeah, in some cases, yeah, it's that fine line, as I said. You're both kind of on either side. It's like, Mark, you're fully against it. Rocco, you're all for it. I think there should be a spot in the middle, like there's a point where you can do it, but yeah, you don't want to go too far with it. And I don't like to look at that when players are coming off, copping an absolute spray from their fans. I'm not too much of a fan of that.
Yeah, spot on, Liam. It's ridiculous. Out of all of these supporters, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 supporters out there, and you got 5 morons that'll sit along the fence line there and watching the players come into their rooms and shouting abuse and use a shit and pay my membership and get over it, mate. It is what it is, man. What the hell is it going to change? It's not going to change anything. Oh, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's sad. It doesn't need to be put into our game, mate, this bullshit when the players go into the race. It's absolutely disgusting.
You go overseas, mate, and see how you get.
I don't care about overseas, Rocco. Overseas, they'll kill you if you miss a goal in soccer, mate. They'll murder you.
You know what? Because
this is AFL.
No, it's more than this is more than a game, mate. And people put their lives into it, mate. And then if they get out there, man, and I'm not talking about one game or whatever, but if they get to a stage, as long as I don't do it. Like, I won't go there and do it because it's not me, right? But as paying members, I believe that if you have got a right to say things to the team, mate, because those players half those players don't give a shit about the team, right? They'll just move on the next year, right? This is this is our blood and sweat, mate. We're there every minute of the day, every month. We think about it every moment of the day, man. And you should have, mate. This isn't like you go there and you're not, mate, we pay to be part of this club, mate. We pay. As long as you're not racist and you're not being abusive to the family or religion or whatever you do, all those sensitive things I understand, man. There has to be like there has to be a point where you don't go over, right? Yeah. But, mate, what's wrong with you telling the players, mate? You know what you should be thinking, right? This is where what you should be thinking, what pushed those Melbourne supporters to act like that? Instead of saying they shouldn't act like that, look at it from the other point and say, what pushed a guy who's probably a family, he's got a family, what pushed him to the point where he's absolutely gone spastic? Like some of these people live, their life is football, mate. And then you're saying, just don't show emotion, don't do this, don't do that. Mate, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you able to have your say against the player. What's the difference if I'm at around the bloody boundary line there and I'm screaming to a player? How many times? Oh, you probably don't do it. How many times I scream, fucking get up, mate, get the ball, mate. What are you doing, mate? I don't want to hear, you've never played football, you don't understand. No, stuff you, mate. This is my team, mate. If I don't see you doing the best, I'm not going to be happy with it, mate. So, listen, if they were spitting or they were doing something, then I go, mate, that definitely is a no-go, right? But you saying something, get off the ground, mate. You don't deserve to put on that jumper. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Sorry.
No, I get it. But I think once the game's done and the result's in the books, that's it. Move on. Don't go kick into them after the game.
Why? They're walking off the ground. When are you going to do it?
They're done. You don't think that they're feeling the same way that we are as fans?
Yeah. And you don't think they know that, I come on now, Fourever Rivals, and I cop it by everyone? They don't give a shit. You cop it too now. You cop it the way we cop it. You cop it when I go to work and I got to hear it by everyone. Now you're going to fucking cop it, right? Because some of that effort that you put in was not acceptable. Sorry, mate. Not by my team. Not by my team. That is not acceptable, mate. This is, mate.
Okay, I think at the heat of the moment, you do abuse, and while the game is going on, you'll sit there in the boundary line, and you see a player not making an effort. Go, fuck. It's part of just the camaraderie of being at the game. But I think after the game, let it go. The game's over. Win or lose, move on. Take your kids home.
No, it's not after the game.
There's another week of football. But to start yelling at players as they go into the race, out of your 50 or 70 or 80,000 supporters that you got on the ground, you'll get one or two shangatos out there that'll start screaming at some players.
And you get it in the crowd.
It's not acceptable, Rocco. Fucking let them move on and just relax, go to the bar.
Some of them are shit, mate. Some of them don't deserve to put on the jumper, mate. Some of them don't deserve it, and they need to be told, mate. They need to be told, stuff
what
you, mate.
What difference is it going to make, Rocco?
It doesn't matter what difference. What difference is you going to the football, mate? Why do you go?
I'll go to enjoy it with my friends and family.
But that's the way you enjoy it. The way I enjoy it, that if they do something, I'm going to let them fucking know. I'm going to let them know. After 53 years of bleeding blue, right? If I don't see a performance I like, I'm going to let them know.
Well, so you're going to sit in a race and tell them that.
In actual fact, if you listen to what I said I don't do that.
Correct.
I don't begrudge anyone else doing it. Right, first of all, black and white. What about the blue fan putting in the microphone with a big laughter, right? At the end of the day, black and white united, and I'll get you on soon. At the end of the day, black and white, all fans have done this. Collingwood has done it too, because your memory's pretty short if you don't think that Collingwood supporters, right, have absolutely berated their side, right? Oz, thank you very much. He's gifted 5 TJP. You're a star, man, Oz. And we're going to see you there, man. You're a star. Thank you very much. Everyone that actually joined up.
Is Oz jumping on tonight?
I hope he jumped on. He jumped on the Monday Blue, so I expect you to jump on and back me up here, mate. Yeah. So anyway, listen, difference of opinion.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I just think, mate, you should be able to, as long as it's not, you know, like that abusive. If you're just telling them to get off, you don't deserve the jumper, all that kind of stuff, man. I don't see nothing wrong with that, man. It's just like you were saying, mate. They get paid. You were just saying, mate, they should be on the in the. You were just saying before, Mark, they were in the bloody crowd, right? You were saying these players get paid a lot of money. They should take the abuse, or you take it all the way off the ground, mate. Look, if they're at dinner or something, I don't expect people to go up to people after in their private life and do it. But you're at the ground, mate. You're at the ground. You just finished. The biggest emotion is right there after the game. After the game. You know what? I bet you they take the praise, but when they win, they take the fucking praise. It's like the media. Oh, you know, when they're winning and the media helps them, they're all happy. But as soon as they get abused, they go into like, oh, we're depressed and that. No, mate. You've got to take the good with the bad. Mate,
it's just a bit too personal for me, Rocco. Just a bit too personal for me.
I know. You're a bit soft.
Life's more about.
Show you the video where. Don't give me the mate. I remember a time in the 80s and 90s, mate. You Collingwood supporters, mate. You were the worst. Man, I used to go to Vic Park, mate, and I used to have to walk there with a baton in my bag. Don't tell me that your supporters never did it, mate. Hit the road, mate. And if you want to talk about it, get on. Hey, Kay, get on later on and talk to me about it. Right? Don't get me revved up. I know you don't do it, Mark, because you're a bit soft, mate. You reckon people shouldn't even swear, right? At the crowd, if you don't like it, then don't go to the footy, mate. Don't go to the footy. This is not the opera. If you don't like it and if you can't take the abuse running off the ground, then don't play footy.
No, that's absolutely bullshit, Rocco. I said, you know, and I'm a true believer that I swear at the football too. I say, oh, fuck, holding the ball. But once the start gets a little bit aggressive and like you're a fucking shit.
Wasn't aggressive. It wasn't.
It's not acceptable, mate.
But it wasn't aggressive, Mark. Sorry? It wasn't aggressive. What did he say? He said you don't deserve the thing. You're pathetic. Get off the ground.
No, I'm just talking about you were saying about going to the football and me not swearing or people not swearing at the football. You can accept. Fuck is a word that everybody uses now. It's a common language. But once you get personal and saying you're a fucking shit, this is disgraceful shit, the player, it gets a little bit.
I can't say
relax. To a player. Take it easy. Take a step back.
I can't say to a player you're a disgrace.
Have you?
I've said at the ground you're a disgrace.
You're a disgrace. You should be on his fucking side.
Disgrace. You shouldn't wear the jumper, mate. Get off the ground. Take yourself off the ground now, mate. Take yourself off the ground now, mate. You ever seen a player pull out of a contest and you say that's fucking a disgrace, mate? Get off the ground, mate. I've said it plenty of times, mate.
You're not swearing. You're not swearing, are you? Exactly what you just said then was nothing to do with any content of swearing. You just said, get off the ground.
Swears, so what, Mark? What's going on? I disagree with you, man. As long as it's not, as I said, it doesn't get like personal, right? I'm happy that they give it to players, mate, and coaches.
Yeah, and I'm for that, Rocco. I'm for supporters expressing themselves and feeling what they want to say on the ground. You know, that's holding the ball. That's bullshit. That's fucking crap. But, I've been to a few games. I've been to a few games over the last few years, and some of the comments that have come out and I've been there with my wife and my two kids. I'll look at them and say, shut the fuck up, mate, because I tell you right now, I'm going to kick you out of this ground, mate. Relax. You've had a few fucking beers. Take it easy. There's a lot more kids and females now that are going to the football to what it was in the 1970s.
I've seen some of the females that are worse than the men. I've seen females worse than the men, mate. There's an old lady that sits next to me, mate.
They're obviously Collingwood and Carlton supporters then, mate.
Oh, rubbish, mate. You supporters are the worst, mate. The Essendon supporters. Don't talk about Carlton and fucking.
And I could throw a couple of Richmond supporters too. Some of those women, mate, they're fucking foreign, mate. They're not tigers, mate. They're fucking
and old ladies
tigers.
absolutely would make you absolutely embarrassed. Right? So take it easy, mate. You know what you should do, Mark? You should go. Yeah, you should go and watch a bit of opera, mate, and take it easy, mate. Listen to me. Exactly right. I disagree and agree with Rat Poison. Well, we have this love-hate relationship, but he's absolutely right, mate. You belong in the netball, mate. That's what you belong, mate. Let's have a bit of fun out there. All right. This has been with what I'm going to do is, mate, this took longer than I thought. So you got me. I didn't even have a subject for tonight, and you got me revved up, mate. And I'll tell you what, if Carlton lose this week, don't worry about what those supporters did. You're going to hear me over the boundary this week, right? You're going to hear me over the boundary this week.
If Carlton lose this week, if they will.
Yeah, all right.
They will, he says. Oh, boy.
Is that your call? Is that going to be your call of the week? Because every week you make a call, and it's absolute rubbish. What was your call about? What was your call about Essendon last week?
I haven't opened these up yet, mate.
I haven't opened them up, mate, because you know what I could see in there. You know what I could. The only person I can't see there in your side is Merritt. The rest are absolute spuds.
Yeah.
Oh, this was a question I had for Mark, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, spuds.
Absolute spuds. What did you say about Essendon last week? How many goals were you going to win last week? How many goals were you going to win the week before? Mate, at least know what you're talking about. Off you go. What question did you have for the big spud over there?
Mate, I was going to ask it later, but I'll ask it now since you brought it up. Mark, this is for you about your team. In terms of A-graders that you have in your side, outside of Zach Merritt, is there anyone else in your team who's an A-grader?
Liam, you're a viewer here tonight. You're a rival's viewer.
He's asking you a question, mate. He's asking you a serious question.
Hold on, Rocco. Isn't this forever rivals here? You don't ask me questions, Liam.
He can ask you whatever you want.
Before
we keep on going, black and white, I'll put on...
Am I right in assuming there is only one A-grader at Essendon then?
Hold on. Before we go, just one second.
If you don't give an answer, that's what I'm going to assume.
Liam,
I'm not going to answer that question, Liam, because that's a viewer's question.
Mark, a second. When I say stop, right? 1 second, just 1 second. I said, black and white jump on. No one else jump on at the moment because I just want to talk about the games and then we'll get everyone else on. And guess what? Here he is. We got him, black and white. All right.
I'm going for a cigarette, black and white. You know what?
No. You can stay here.
Look at him. What a week! What a week! You asked him a question and the bloke took off.
As soon as the big boy comes on, he fucking skedaddles pretty quickly.
Oh boy, that's weak for you. That was weak. Oh,
here we go. Everyone knew it, mate. Listen, hey, black and white, the Caesar.
No ciggies tonight. No ciggies tonight.
All right, good boy. All right, you know what we're gonna do? While we got there, because Manny's not in, you can be his replacement and we can talk about the games. Because
just quickly, just before we talk about the game.
Go.
But I got to say that the tongue-in-cheek that Harley Reed gave was in response to the bloke that showed him the tissues, right? Because he was talking about a free kick or whatever. He gave him a little bird, but he smiled when he did it. It was a cheeky little dig. And that was it. It wasn't like a Kane Corns to Brodie Holland in 2002 where they won a close one and he gave it to him and ripped him and whatever. I can see the part where, like, you know, there's kids watching and all this type of stuff. And I understand all that too. But if you're going to start talking about, like, hurling abuse at the players when they leave, if you're having a shit season or a shit game or whatever it is, if you're a paying member, you're entitled to voice your opinion, but it's obviously within reason. So, like Liam said, it's a middle ground there that you got to follow. And, you know, like I'll go to the footy. When Mason Cox got punched by Rory Lobb there, we all went up and we all said whatever we said to him and or whatever. And you vent your frustration and stuff like that. And, you know, to Rocco, to your point, and I do agree with it, mate. There's women out there that are just as feral as the blokes. Like, mate, I'll tell you now, some of the Western Bulldogs supporters that were there, they were, wow, like it was a new level. I thought our four teams were bad, but they just went right up in my book with the shit that they were throwing out there. So, but it is what it is. But I think just all in all, there's a middle ground that you got to find. Obviously, the racist comments and like all that type of stuff is a no-go, but you're entitled to voice your opinion within reason and stuff like that. It's not. The other thing is, it's not a good look for kids. Like my son plays football; he's in under 9s this year. I don't want him giving the bird to stuff like to other kids or to fans and stuff like that, because that's a reflection on me as a parent. You know what I mean? But these guys are professional footballers, and we're paying as supporters. Half of us have got no affiliation with the club, or most do anyway. You're allowed to, voice your opinion and stuff like that. And to be honest, it's a bit of good theatre. Like, it's not as if he went to the fence. And like Jai said in the comments, it's not like he did a Mason. He did a Eric Cantona, went over the thing and started fighting people. So there's a middle ground there that you got to follow. So yeah.
And we actually got Rory Lobb on the chat here. He just said all he heard is Mason Cox's face about the crack, mate. Thanks, Rory. He's a big supporter of the channel. Well done.
Usually people with blue hair, if they smile, their face cracks too. So yeah.
Oh mate, don't pick on Millhouse, mate. Oh boy.
That was all right. While we're there, right, should he been suspended?
I reckon. Well, I was a bit confused with what Michael Christian said in regards to the outcome side of things. If, like, we know, even as Collingwood fans, that was accidental. Like you just don't want to see your own player get hit. If it was any of your players that got hit like that, of course you're going to kick up a stink about it, right? But even though there's no concussion or anything like that, he just got a black eye and he was going for the ball, he still punched him. So you'd think it would be at least a fine or downgrade it to some sort of low hit or whatever it was. There was no concussion, but Christo came out and said that if he had been concussed, then the decision would have been the same. So that goes against everything that the AFL is talking about, especially when it comes down to this whole concussion bullshit and making examples of all these cases now because they're under all these lawsuits. You know what I mean? So the messaging's just wrong. So I get it. The AFL got a lucky one there because there was no concussion, but it should have been at least a week, or worst case, just give him a fine. You know what I mean?
Sorry, just quickly before you go, Liam, you're absolutely right. If he's concussed, right, and you're telling me that Christian said that the outcome would be the same, well, now they're talking shit. The whole thing is about. We've been talking about this. It's about the outcome, isn't it? Yeah. Right? And now he's saying it's not.
If you accidentally bump someone, but if you accidentally bump someone and you're both going for the ball and one person gets concussed, you're gone for at least 2 weeks if it's a medium impact or whatever it is.
Well, yeah, that's what I want to say. Is that it's like with the tackling. If you tackle someone and you hit them on the head, you get a week. However, tackling is part of the game. It's the same thing with spoiling. A spoil is a part of the game. But I feel if you get it wrong and you do punch a player in the head, even though it was hilarious to see Mason Cox get punched, if you get it wrong and you hit him in the head, you should get in some trouble. And he's got no idea, Michael Christian, mate. This is their problem. They're so stupid.
I think it's the messaging, though. It's just the messaging, and it's the directive that the AFL has given now because of the situation that they're in, from events that have happened in the early 2000s, the 90s, the 80s and stuff like that, with all that CTE rubbish that's coming in now. So, I mean, I don't know. They've given decisions worse before in the past, and this one was worse than all of them. And the situation and the rules now are even harsher. But then you've let him go scot-free. So. I don't know. And I'd say the same if it was a Collingwood player did it to the Dogs, because you've got to find a level of consistency there.
Yeah, it's action or outcome. If he'd got concussed, would he have got suspended? I know they said that he wouldn't, but if they are serious about this concussion stuff, as you say, he's given a
but that's the thing. I would have rather of them come out and said, if there was a concussion and Mason Cox was seriously injured, like a broken eye socket or shit like that, right? Then I would have rather him said, then there would have been a different outcome like with Rory Lobb. Then I would have been like, okay, fair enough. He didn't get concussed. It's a football act. It was an accident. You move on.
Mm-hmm.
But is that what we're waiting for?
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah. He snaked his way around it, and that's why we get pissed off.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
What do you reckon, Mark? Should he have got suspended, Rory Lobb, for that, or at least fined?
Well,
maybe not suspended, but fined.
The head now these days is protected, mate.
Exactly.
So regardless if it was an accident or not, you could have been on the ground and somebody kneed you in the head accidentally, and regardless if you're concussed or not, the player is responsible. So, look, Mason Cox went down when he got hit in the head, mate. It wasn't just like a soft cock hit, mate. He actually, Rory,
it wasn't a graze or anything.
Oh, it was a pretty decent hit, mate. Like for him to, I don't know if it was his goggles that got in the way that created a bit more of a damage to his eye, but it was a decent whack, and I reckon Rory should have at least got, like a warning or at least a week.
Maybe
it's a week or a fine.
The players don't
a week or a fine, regardless of the outcome. Regardless of the outcome, that for left hooking a player across the face, it's either a fine or a week because it was accidental. That's it.
Correct. Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that because the players these days don't go intentionally whacking players anymore like they were in the 70s and 80s. So accidentally, mate, you need to be careful. You get a week, you get 2 weeks, and I believe that's what should have happened. But anyway, it is what it is, and he got away. And what happens next time when a player does the same similar act? The decisions will be different, and then the conversation starts happening again.
I'd love to see the exact same act with a broken jaw and see what happens. And I want to see if they keep steady and don't do anything. And I guarantee if that happens, there's gonna be like either a fine or
I believe he should have got at least a week or two for even though it was an accident, but he should have a week or two just for not being responsible of hitting the ball and making that mistake. So.
But you can call it reckless. You can just call it reckless and just say, we know it's accidental. It was reckless conduct. Here's a fine. And I'll tell you now, everybody would shut up about it.
The fine, black and white, the fine doesn't matter anymore to players, mate. They're getting paid so many millions and thousands of dollars per year.
But I understand that. But
is nothing. They need to be suspended.
Yeah, I get that it doesn't mean anything to them. But as a supporter, you're just left confused now on what the situation is. Exactly. Like that's all. I'm talking from a supporter's point of view. That's all it is. It's not from the players' side of things. They shook their hands after the game. It's all sweet. All fair's love and war. It was an accident. But imagine if that was the preliminary final, right? And the Bulldogs had have won. Right, imagine the next week or the next few days until Tuesday night tribunal happens. It'll be fucking uproar. So I just think the AFL got away cheaply with letting him off and then backing it up with the comments saying that if the outcome was different and he was concussed, it'll still be the same result. If he was concussed and he got away with nothing, then does that give permission now for every single contest just get angry and just try and roundhouse hook a player in the face to try and spoil the ball or just give away a free kick for chopping the arms or something like that? You know what I mean?
The test will be what happens when this happens again.
And it will happen. Like there's enough footy played. It will happen again. Someone's going to get a broken jaw or something. You know what I mean? And then we can have a discussion. And they better keep on the right path. Anyway, let's move on. Just on behalf of everyone. It was good to see Cox get punched in the face anyway. So anyway,
love it, mate.
All right, let's go into some games next week. Sorry, let's go into the games that have just gone by. All right, the first one, what was it? Oh, the first one was us, just quietly. Here you go. 60 to 80. I suppose I'll talk about this game. If you're going to say, what are you clapping about? Relax, mate. I'm going to get stuck into this. If you would have said before the game, how many people actually pick Carlton, so you probably would have thought that's about the right result. I remember a few of you guys saying that we're going to get absolutely smashed. So we had to respond, and we did. Was it good enough? Not really. If you watched the show last night, we talked about it. Look, a lot of the indicators are good for Carlton. It's just some are bad. Some are bad. So we're doing the right stuff, just not paying off at the moment. I don't think they should have played Curnow. He wasn't ready. It was a bit of a...
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, it was a bit of a move. I don't like those sort of moves, man. That's move of desperation. Harry not going out. We got word today that we don't think he's going to play Friday either. So it's not just the nilness. We'll see what comes out of it.
How much are you guys paying him per year, Rocco? Mind me asking?
I don't know, about less than your McKay, and he's a forward. What are you paying your one? 1.5.
Ask me the question, mate. How much?
I don't know. I don't look at their pays, but I reckon he's on about 800 grand or something.
How's pick 3 for North Melbourne though? For that, no offense, but pick 3 as a compensation. If Maynard goes to North Melbourne, right, on the pay packet that they're offering him, Collingwood should get the first 3 draft picks of the next draft. If McKay's worth pick 3. Yeah.
But anyway, let's get back to Carl. We got off, but yeah. So from there, again, Mark had to turn it around to his shit side. But again, we didn't pay a Mackay 1.5 as a backman who played 12 games. We didn't do that. But anyway, execution. Execution is killing us, Rocco, and the lack of leg speed. Exactly right, mate. The lack of leg speed, the lack of execution. We had our chances. A couple of things didn't go our way. A couple of goals were taken out. That one by TDK, that was just ridiculous. But anyway, I don't think that would have made a difference. At the end of the day, we play a taxing game. We play a contested game, a taxing game, and Hawthorn just knew it. They just waited it out. And then when they did execute, Hawthorn a good side, mate. They execute well, man. They treated the other night like a dry night. They're hitting targets. They played a good game. So was I happy with it? I was looking for a response. I got a response. Am I happy with the results? No, not happy with it. So we just gotta see what happens this week. Yeah.
Can I ask you one thing?
Of course, man. You can ask me whatever you want.
Is it your game plan the problem, or is it that the players can't execute your game plan?
I think it's a bit of both, and I think it's either. The problem is, we were discussing this last night. The problem is, I do think there's a bit of game plan. So what happens is each coach comes in, and you've got your game plan. Boss's game plan is a contested game. It's a contested game. You know what I mean? And we showed it halfway through last year. We showed it at the end of last year. It works, but it is a taxing game, right? I think that sometimes it's been drilled into them that much, this game plan. Some of the other parts of their game has fallen away. So they get the ball. If you look at it, we win contested ball. We win all that. It's what we do next with it. Is it part of maybe not the right players? Maybe. I did say that. Yeah, on my first time on this show was I think the biggest thing that I get frustrated with you guys is that you win the ball, but then when you get in the forward line, I think you were even saying it on your show last night. You were kicking it to a 3-on-1 with and we do that a lot. And you say why do you do that? You know what I mean? So it could be that they're so into their game of this contested ball that when they go to execute, they put themselves under pressure. And what do you do when you're under pressure? Not only in football, but in life. You always revert to what you know best or what's easiest. And what's easiest is to kick along. Another thing is...
just get it on the boot.
I think the kicking in the forward line is definitely a problem. You know what I mean? But sometimes having big men like Harry and Curnow up there, it's easy to do. It's easy to do. You're up the ground. You see those two big men. Your way out is to kick it to them.
Yeah, Rocco, you play too much contested footy though. Like you guys don't spread as quick as what like Hawthorn did. Like Hawthorn would get the ball in the back line, do some handballs, and then they'd be just like spreading so
100%.
quickly. Like we did that in 23. Richmond did that in so really good in 2017, where it was just manic and it was spread and it was almost to the point where you don't need any contested possession because you're too busy running and they're chasing you. Your goals that you scored against Thing were just so labour intensive. They were so like you see Carlton score a goal and like their players were cooked. You know, Hawthorn score a goal and they're like all happy, this, that. You know, and then we'll go again. And I think that's very similar to the way that Voss played his footy, hard contested footy, and his game style is so like lock hard on the man that when you guys do spread and stuff like that, your delivery into the forward line is just it's not that good. And when you haven't got your two tall timbers down there, your kicks in the forward line are just rushed and then it just gets turned over and it's just a cycle.
And you're absolutely right. I can't disagree with that. I see my game plan every week. Can it be fixed? Maybe yes, maybe no. A few little things can be fixed. It is I said it from the start. It's a taxing game we play. We play a taxing game. I don't think it's sustainable for the whole for the whole year. So that's our problem. Can we fix it? Maybe we can, maybe we can't. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure at the moment. I don't think the game plan is going to work, but I still believe we'll win the next 2 weeks.
Yep. Okay.
Mate, the Doggies a good chance, and when we come up against you guys, mate, you know it doesn't matter where we are, man. We'll play a game. Like all our games have been fairly close over the years, but we'll see. But anyway, we'll get to that. Actually, me and Black and White might have something special next week for you guys. Yeah, we got mate. I'm telling you, man. I'm always working, man. I'm always working behind the scenes, mate, trying to get stuff done. All right, let's move on to the next game. Enough about my side. Who played next? Oh, was it
Collingwood?
Essendon?
Was Friday night, was it?
Yeah, it was us and Dogs.
Oh, all right. Let's talk about you and the Dogs, right? Let's go. 70-76. All I can say was, look, it was actually a good game to watch. It was pretty close, man. Both play like a similar style. Yeah, man. This is up to you, Black and White. What was going on?
So the first quarter, the first couple of minutes, the Dogs jumped us, and I think maybe they got us a little bit by surprise, but their ball movement, especially out the middle, was just really good. But then I'll tell you, after probably halfway through the second quarter, once we started catching up with them, mate, we had complete control of that game, and the scoreboard does not do it justice on how much control we actually had for that game through the whole period of that whole second half. Probably the last 5 minutes of the last quarter, we had a chance to put them away. We had 3 or 4 shots directly in front of goal that we missed. If McStay had kicked that one where he marked directly in front, it puts us 20 points up, and there's no Bulldogs comeback or whatever it is. So, but credit to them, you know, we stuffed up a little bit in the last quarter. We let them back in, but it was just nice to see us win a close game by being in front and not letting the opposition overtake us, as opposed to us always being behind and then catching up to other sides and beating them. So that part was nice to see. But and we can talk all day about the umpiring, but I don't want to go too much into it. We were favoured towards the end of the game 100%. But, you know, the decisions that we did get, they were there. I think it's more the ones that weren't paid. I think it's the ones that there was 3 or 4 there blatant free kicks, man. Seriously. Yeah. 3 or 4 blatant. It's not the ones that were given to you. Like you said, it's the ones that weren't given. But look, you've got a favourable bounce at the end. But I think I heard you say this, or maybe on something else. Might have been on your other show that, hey, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't, man. It all comes and goes, yeah. Yeah, I said on my videos last week or just after the game, I said in my review, the corresponding game last year, round 2, we played St Kilda at the MCG. The Saints beat us by 3 goals, and the free kick count was exactly the same as the Dogs game, but it was reversed. So it was in St Kilda's favour, right? There was 3 or 4 free kicks at the end of the game that were paid to St Kilda, which resulted in scoring opportunities, which resulted in them winning the game at the end of it. That's just how it happened. But no one bats an eyelid the second it's against us. I'll put my Nuffy hat on for a second. But as soon as it's against Collingwood, no one says anything. When it's in Collingwood's favour, but the uproar, forget it. You know what I mean? So I just, you take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is. There were decisions on both sides that should have been paid, shouldn't have been paid. But I just put it down to the end of the day that the Bulldogs are probably just a little bit more lacked a little bit of discipline when the pressure was on and the game was in and the game was in reach and they just stuffed up.
Oh, they're also black and white United, mate. They're also missing one of their probably gun players, A-grade players in Bontempelli, mate. And I reckon he would have made a massive difference.
Mark, I'll tell you now, if the Dogs had a fit Bontempelli, a fit Treloar, a fit Hugo Hagen, a fit Cody Whiteman, a fit Liam Jones, they beat us on the night. Like, I'm not going to shy away from that. They beat us by 20, 30 points. I think
Collingwood, correct. I think just going by what I feel, I think Collingwood this year will be a 50-50. They have got some older players and they've got some young players, but they've also recruited some, obviously some genuine older recruits in Memory and Houston and so forth. But I think Collingwood this year is going to be a 50-50 every week. Every week, mate. They'll win one, they'll lose one, they'll win one, they'll lose one. Where do you think, Black and White United, where do you think Collingwood are going to end up this year? Going by what you're seeing right now, mate. That's a question for me.
Oh, I reckon the buys come at the best time for us. I mean, we had 3 games in 12 days.
The buys come at the right time.
We had 3 games in 12 days. You guys didn't play
opening round. The buys come at the right time. Seriously, bro.
You guys didn't play opening round. We had 3 games in 12 days. We played 1 shit game, we played 1 really good game, and we played 1 game where we played in patches. So the buys probably come at the right time. Don't forget too, we've played 2 weeks before that in practice in competitive practice games against 3 sides. So fair enough, the buys come. But if you're going to talk about end of the season and stuff now, honestly, I've got no idea.
What do you feel that the Collingwood will come?
Let him talk one at a time.
I reckon the Pies will finish anywhere between 4th and 8th. I don't think we'll finish higher than 4th this season, but between 4 and 8, I reckon we'll finish.
That's a good result if you can finish 4 to 8. If you can finish anywhere near the top 4, that's a fucking good result.
Well, you think about it, like if we start, because like this is our hard run up until the Geelong game after Anzac Day. We've played every single team.
Well, that's a bye. Anzac Day.
Pardon?
That's a bye, Anzac Day.
Yeah, well, you'd like to think so. But Essendon will peak. Essendon will become world beaters on Anzac Day against us. You watch. But the problem is, for us, at the start of our fixture, I'm not sooking about it. I'm just stating facts. We played pretty much every single team that finished in the finals last year, leading up into the Geelong game. After Geelong,
you're spot on. I've just had a look as well.
Yeah,
You've got
after the Geelong game, we've got a bit of a better run. So we might win most of those games. Or you think, I'm talking genuinely speaking, we'll probably come in and be favourites for those games there. So we should be locked. If we can get the results now, we should be locked in the top 8 come the mid-season bye around King's birthday.
A big good result. All right. Good.
Okay. Fair enough.
Good. Fucking, you gave us more in 5. Sorry, you gave us more in 5 minutes than Manny gave us in 2 years, man.
I'm not trying to take his job either. Don't put that on me either. I'm not trying to take his job.
You can't take his job because you always need one clown on here, so he fits the mold. So
no, we've got 2 clowns.
Well, we have got 2 clowns. I didn't want to say it.
Nanny and Rocco.
Very good, very good. Well, talk about fucking clowns, right?
Let's get to the next game, man.
How good of a fucking segue was that? Talk about clowns.
But his own work, mate.
Yeah, keep eating your fucking chips. 100 to 161. I don't know the goals. but I know they kicked 25 goals. They had something to like 25 marks in the forward line. You've got your big doofus there. What's his name? That Ruckman. He's a dud, man, saying that he's going to go somewhere else. He should go home, that bloke. Lucky you've got Merritt that drives his Lamborghini to the bloody stadium, or else you'd have – if you didn't have Merritt, I seriously reckon you would have lost by 120 points.
Yeah, you probably got that spot on there, Rocco, mate. You're pretty mate. I'm not going to argue tonight about anything, but I wouldn't. You know, there was a couple of positive notes on the weekend, mate. Look,
positives.
Well, there was. Well, obviously Zach Merritt, 36 disposals, 4 goals, 1. That's a positive, isn't it? Black and white. Before you jump in. Okay.
Yeah. I could say the same about Nick Dacus getting 39 disposals and Paddy Cripps carrying Carlton.
Yeah, but he's a young fella. He's still got a lot to learn. Now, look, 100 points. That's the next positive. 100 points. These days, if you kick 100 points, you normally win the game 9 out of 10 times. But obviously, our defense and the fumbling and the issues and the reoccurrence of bullshit that happens. They kick 25 goals, but normally 15 goals, 100 points. Normally wins you a game. This time of the year. But besides that, I was really disappointed. I was disappointed in the effort. But if you want me to go through the spill of the game, I will quickly go through it. I know you guys probably don't really care because we're going to be shit this year. But we were missing, 9 of my 23 top players, and through injury, which is Jordan Ridley.
Wait a sec. All right, I'm going to stop this right here. I'm going to stop this right here because last year, how many times did you tell me that injuries should not count because one player out, one player in? You kept saying it to me. I kept saying we've got injuries, and you kept saying, "Oh no!" And now you brought the injury card. I can't believe it.
I did not say it was an excuse, but we did have a few players that I would pick in my 23 top players.
Yeah, let him list off the players. I want to hear who's missing.
Which is Jordan Ridley, Kyle Langford, Darcy Parish, Peter Wright, Jan Laverde, Nick Cox, Matt Rolfe, Alwyn Davey, and Westerfield that didn't play on the weekend.
You can't put him in your top 23.
He's in my top 23. They tell me what my top 23 is, Rocco. That's my fucking top 23.
I'd have him in
Your top 23 is fucking Orazio Fantasio. I don't know. So I'm telling you, they're my top 23 players that didn't play on the weekend. Now, Adelaide went in as a full-strength side. One player that was injured. Number 2, our team that went on the field were the youngest team out there this weekend, okay? So I've got to give that, to them as well. It wasn't acceptable, the effort with the senior players. I'm still pissed off about that because they should have performed the Shield and your Redmonds and Mackay and Greshams and so forth. They should have performed. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to not try and make excuses. And I've been trying to make excuses every fucking time we lose. Is it the coach? Is it the players?
I like this. I like it.
Is it the injuries? Is it the bloody fucking weather?
Well, you tell us your team.
Do you know what it is?
What went wrong for you then?
You know what it is, Liam? It's called
what is it?
Depth. Strong clubs have got depth. We have not got depth. Carlton has not got depth. Richmond have got not depth. Collingwood really have not got depth. So the strong clubs have got depth. And the thing is that these players these days think they can get a game every single week without giving 100% effort, and they'll get a game every week. And that's what seems to happen, mate. Once you've got players that are playing in the reserves, and the team's got depth that are pushing to get into your side, that puts pressure on some of the elite players and some of the players that are playing in 23 games, 23 players.
That's a fair play.
I've had to make up another excuse. I do apologise because I keep on making excuses every time we fucking lose. Even Nostradamus, I can't rely on anymore. So it's depth. We need depth.
So depth's your problem. And effort.
I believe strong clubs, if they got depth, they will succeed because the players above them, their spot is crucial, and they'll play every week, regardless. So that's my philosophy.
Wait, before you go on, Liam, sorry, Boris, I'll forget. Lane Wolf for another $5. Thanks, mate. Didn't Mark say last year he prefers to lose by 60 plus than win by a point? That might explain his
yes, yes, and that's why Lone Wolf. That's why Lone Wolf. This tomorrow night, Essendon and Port Adelaide. I'm not going to go into the tips in the game. That is the key, yeah. And you'll notice that on Thursday night we'll go out and we'll win.
All right, there you go. That's the big call of the week, mate. Deb, we're going to go out and win. And he's missing 9. What was it? 9 or 11 or 13 players that were hacks. And apparently last year, injuries. You can't blame injuries. One player out. This year, apparently we can use the injury card. Okay, as long as I know we can flip flop every year, that's fine.
Quickly, last year these players were playing every week up until around 11 or 12 of last year, and we kept, in the top 8, even top 4 up until around probably 15 and 16. These players were there. You need the experienced players to accommodate for these young players. And, at the end of the day, you can't rely on, Caddy and Kako and Reed and Roberts and so forth to be playing every week without having some of the stability of these players. So there are a few coming back next week. But we'll talk about when we do the tips.
We just got, before we move on, we just got Marty. He's got, what's the difference between Essendon player and a Penata? Eventually, a Penata gives you something worth celebrating. I think that's the comment of the night. Well done. We also want to say thank you for the $10, man, and no comment. Thank you very much, man. All that is appreciated. It does help the channel, man. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and share. And also get on to Black and White United, mate, if you're a Collingwood supporter. I don't know about the rest.
I'm 5 away from 700, so just make
it on there, mate. I actually subscribed.
I just subbed you before this. I genuinely have just subbed to your channel.
Yeah, I subscribed. Anyone in the channel, because he's a good bloke. He comes on there. He comes onto a Carlton channel, man, and he comes on there. He's come on every week, man. Just get on there and give him a subscribe, man, because one thing you don't understand, like we appreciate the money because, all this costs, but seriously, the subscribe does a lot for all the channels, because if you get subscriptions, means YouTube, they monetize you and you can do all that. And it does mean a lot to us. So just definitely do it. What we're going to do is you're going to hang around while we do next week's games, Black and White.
I can stay for another 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
Yeah, that's cool. And then I'm going to kick you off anyway because we're going to get some more people.
I'm dying for a dart. They're looking at me and I'm not allowed to open, so yeah.
Who's the darts are looking at you? The darts are looking at you.
They're just sitting here. They're just sitting there, bro. Fucking stretching.
Look at you. You're hopeless, man. What a bunch of bloody losers. All right, now let's look at now he's gone.
Yeah. No, you got to do my game. I still got to review it.
Oh yeah, I did. Sorry, man. I do apologize. I did forget because it was really 72 points, 140. You're straight back to earth. And you, Black and White, said that they were going to win. So
I tipped them, and I thought that I tipped them as an upset because I wanted to try and jump a few people early, but I actually did think that they might have pulled away with it, but it was more of a gut sort of call than a head call. So it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I can't talk. I got 2 this week, mate. I got 2.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah,
I got 2 wrong. St Kilda and Richmond.
Oh no, I got reamed, mate, this week, man. I was bad this week. So anyway, let's you've been a good inclusion, and that's from a Carlton supporter.
That's nice, thanks.
That is nice. I'm telling you, we're good people, mate. We're
Mate,
good
you should
people.
see me at the footy, but I'm not a good inclusion at the footy. Fuck.
Nah,
I'm
if I tell you, if I see you at the Collingwood ground, I'm gonna come up and give you a clothes hanger from behind, mate.
That's
So
fine.
Oh,
That's all good.
Lobbing cocks all over again.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Mason Cox all over again, mate. That's it.
I'll make sure my sunnies are on so you can try and aim and crush them off.
Oh.
Hey, tell us about your team, mate. Tell us about your team.
All right. Yeah, look, as you guys have pointed to, I think we all thought we were going to give a bit of a better effort than what we did. It was mainly the first half where it all went wrong. And I've got to bag out our senior players. They were disappointing. I thought guys like Nankervis and Taranto and Volostin, these were guys that I had as probably some of our best players the week before. They were terrible this week. They were nowhere near it, and it was really disappointing. That first half, Port just moved the ball way too easy. Our defense was terrible. We went with that aggressive push up high on defense, but we left way too many gaps. Like there was times where they were getting it through the middle of the ground, and there was 4 players looking at the Port Adelaide player. I was like, how are you not picking up this guy? How are you all standing there watching him? So it was a bit of a frustrating watch, but we did claw back a bit in the second half. You know, I was definitely worried at halftime. I think we were down by 10 goals. I was like, gee, this could get out to triple figures here. But we fought back. We did well. There was some things that I did like as well. I think Jacob Blight, I would add him as man of the match. It was good to see him go in the ruck and have a bit of a contribution there. He also went forward and kicked some goals, which is really great. I hope he keeps a spot in our team. I thought the 2 young fellas up forward, Liam Fawcett and Harry Armstrong, like I said, I'm not expecting them to be big superstars straight away, but they both showed something really good. I mean, Fawcett kicked a wicked goal as well for his first, just wheeled around outside 50, popped it in. So that was really nice to see. But yeah, this is, we've seen the best of us. We've hopefully seen the worst of us. Back to reality, maybe a bit. But look, I think, again, it's all going to come out. How do we respond? That seems to be a bit of a theme so far this season. Can we come back from this? Can we go out and win? Getting a bit ahead with the tips, but I reckon we can beat St Kilda this week. I don't care.
Liam, just quickly. Last week you spoke about, obviously, you thought that Port Adelaide were going to win the game, but on the show last week you did say that I don't think we'd be going down by at least 10 goals.
That is true.
That was a statement. Yeah. So you guys went down by 12 goals. So I think Richmond are going to go backwards against going forwards. Through your report of saying that, Richmond are going to go down by less than 10 goals. So, mate, it's a harsh call, mate. It's a harsh call.
Nah, it's a harsh call from you, but we got to remember we're 2 games in. We've seen the best. We've hopefully seen the worst. You don't know what you're going to get. There's 2 games in. There's 20 plus games to go. You come back to us, mid-season. Let's see where we're at there. Let's see how we've gone there. That's what I'd say to that.
Do you think that you guys will have improved from last week's game, saying that you won't go down by 10 goals and you did go down by 12 goals? Do you think that you guys are going to benefit the next 2 or 3 weeks, or do you think it's just about all over again this year?
Same thing. It's 2 games in. I'm not going to say we've been belted by 12 goals. Let's pack it in already. Port's a good team over there in Adelaide. I told you it was going to be a tough game. I don't think we'd do as bad as we did, which I've pointed out. I understand, but no, we can't pack it in after 2 weeks. I've just said as well. I think we can come out. I still think we're a better team than St Kilda this week. And I think we can beat them. Results. Yeah, you take them with a grain of salt to some extent, Like I said with you guys last week, everyone was starting Port have played terrible round 1, Richmond won. You guys can go in with some confidence. I was like, yeah, but let's be a bit realistic here. We'll go in and we'll have a pretty decent effort. But yeah, again, I was realistic. I said, I don't know if we're going to go over and beat Port. That's just a bit too far of a step. So I think, right now, 2 games in, it's hard to judge because we've seen the best, we've seen the worst. Let's give it a bit more time. Let's see where we really are at this season.
That was exactly like us opening round, you saw like us pretty much at our worst against GWS. We got slapped. You saw us at our best against Port Adelaide, and then against Dogs, we were just cruising along. We didn't do anything special. We didn't play that bad, but it's too early in the season to tell. But it'll be just confusing for everybody if you go out and smack St Kilda. That'll be the most confusing thing ever. Like you won't know where you're at. If you lose by 4 or 5 goals, you'll know exactly where you're at. You know,
if you lose by 10 goals,
then you probably will too. But at the same time,
if you do lose by 10 goals,
if Richmond lose by 10 goals, that's more probably a reflection on Carlton more than anything.
Ooh,
and that's not a dig at your rock. That's just that's just facts. I reckon.
You don't have to tell me that, man. I know exactly that, man. We said that. We already listen, man. Everything that you guys have said, man. I do 4-hour shows on Tuesday, mate. We've already said all this. I already said that. That first week that we lost to Richmond, we shouldn't have lost that. I don't care what anyone says, man. That's more on us than on you guys. You played it, and don't get me wrong, I'm not taking nothing away from Richmond that game, but that's on us, man. That's on us. We're 41 points up, man. You should have done it. So that's more on us than what you guys. Let's be serious.
Yeah, I get what you guys mean.
Don't take away that from Richmond. Also.
But I'm not taking away what Richmond did that day, and it just shows. Look, for me, Richmond, you'll probably finish in the bottom 4 again. You've got a young side. You shouldn't be upset with that. I mean, you've got all these debutants, and you actually showed something, which means that they've got something, man. And mate, what do you expect?
That's exactly, Rocco, what I was saying to Liam about, going down to Port by, 12 goals, because, if they want to improve, they shouldn't have gone down by that amount, which was Liam was saying last week. I think
it's the second week of the season.
Yeah, I know that.
Too early.
Yeah, it is early, mate. It's early, but you can see where it's going. And I think if Richmond get done by 10 goals this week against St Kilda, are they playing St Kilda or?
Yeah, St Kilda,
yeah.
That'll be the problem with the round 1 win is that now people have this different expectation of us. Because if we'd have gone out and lost like we were meant to in round 1,
you play Carlton and Carlton really should have smashed you guys that night, regardless, mate. Carlton shouldn't have.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
You're lucky that you did go.
If we go out and get smashed by Carlton, then the story remains the same, and you don't even worry about this result. But because we've gone out and won, people are kind of like, well, hang on, where are you at? We had people at the start of the season saying we're not even going to win a game at all this year. We've already got one in the bag.
No,
so you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I said it's hard to judge where we're at right at this minute. You need to give us time. We are a young team, like I said, and I'll always be realistic about where we're at. Rocco said it. We are probably bottom 4, and that's fair. We'll cop that, but let's give us some time. Let's play a few more games. Then we'll start getting a true reflection of where we're at.
It is what everyone's got to forget is it's still round 2, or round 3, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Fuck the opening.
But you know mate. They've only played 1 game.
Yeah, and that's right. They've only played 1 game. Hawthorn's played 3. You guys have played 3. So it's only round 2. Remember last year, and you can't compare like years and teams, but last year, I mean, Brisbane started 1-5. Who else? I think
Hawthorn was 0-5.
Hawthorn. Yeah, 0-5. So,
exactly.
But
doesn't matter.
We'll see how we go. Before we go, just in Enzo, thanks, mate. $7.99. Appreciate it. Footy shouldn't be so complicated. Run harder, kick it straight, and you will win more games. Pity the Blues can't run or kick at the moment. And he's a Carlton supporter, and he's fucking right too. If we just ran and kicked better, we'll be right. Hey, listen, thanks, Black and White. Mate, I appreciate you jumping on. Mate, everyone jump on, support him, Black and White United. So look out next week. There is something before the Carlton-Collingwood game. We'll do something together, man. And, we'll entertain, mate. And, thank you very much, mate.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Black and White.
I'm going to go now.
Work, mate.
See you, boys.
Yeah, he's hanging. Look at him. He's hanging. See you, man.
Let's go.
Look, we got that big Just Scotty. We'll get him on. You know what? We'll get a few people on, and then we might do the tips at the end or something. But let's get us Scotty. What's
Go ahead.
going on, mate? What's going on?
Oh, guys, I've barely been able to get out of bed the last week, I have to be honest.
What's going on?
Quite despondent. I've acknowledged the reality of my football club and just how shit the Blues are at the moment, and there's really not much of a way out. But that's not really what hurt me. It was when I turned the stream off a week ago, I missed the call-ins because I had to do some charity work, and I tuned back in the following day and saw that Manny was calling me out and saying some quite harsh comments about me, questioning my character, and all I wanted was to come on and maybe accept an apology from him, but I've noticed that he's vacated the stream tonight, and it's really disappointed me because I pride myself on being a part of this community, and for Manny to come down so hard on just a young 15-year-old boy with the whole world ahead of him and a sparkle in his eye, it's, as I said, it makes it hard to get out of bed, fellas.
Hey, listen, hey, Scotty, just the mic is a bit like it's too close to your mouth. Yeah.
I'm trying to work out who is this young fella here? Who is he? Is it Scotty that's going on every week? Or is it...
All right, but we actually, I know you're sick, but let's not do a Harry and not show up, right? Because you got the sniffles, man. You've come onto the channel now, right? We need some hardcore questions here, or we need some like advice on where the Blues or the Bombers or Collingwood or Richmond, what they should do and where we should go. Come on, Scotty. We're waiting for that big.
If I have to find some joy in my life, I've got a question for Mark actually about his Bombers. Mark, I don't know if you've ventured onto the Ticketmaster website in the last 24 hours, but for tomorrow night's game against Port, they're doing a 2-for-1 ticket sale for the Thursday night game. And my question for you is, what's another way to describe a 2-for-1 deal?
Oh, come on, Scotty, mate. What are you on, mate? What's going on?
It's 50% off.
What the fuck is
Essendon
on?
it's 50% off. I can't give you 20,000 at Marvel.
Look,
How can you still call yourself a top four Melbourne club if your tickets are being ripped for 50% off, Mark?
That is true, Mark. They've gone 50% off the tickets
for a Thursday night game, Mark.
You bozos, right? You think about it. At the end of the day,
don't attack me, Mark.
It's a Thursday night game. What families go to a Thursday night game? They've got to go to school the next day. They've got to go to work the next day, right?
I don't know.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Mark? We got a 80,000 last Thursday night.
Yeah, because you guys are a bunch of fucking spuds, man. You guys got nothing else better to do than fucking watch your bozos. You got nothing else better to do than watch your bozos lose games of football on a Thursday night.
At least we show up. At least we don't do 2-for-1.
It's absolutely ridiculous, Scotty. Honestly, mate. Honestly, on a Thursday night football, okay, it's meant to be for TV rights, okay? It's got nothing to do with being at the game. Games should be on a Friday night, a Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, or Sunday, even Sunday night, Sunday evening. This is ridiculous. Thursday night football.
What do you say about that, Scotty?
It's all about watching it. It's all about watching it on TV. Your KOs and your fucking bullshit media bullshit. Okay. Football should not be on a Thursday night unless it's only for the media. Don't blame the supporters for not going to the game because at the end of the day,
supporters, mate. I blame the supporters against Hawthorn. Against Richmond. Right, we got 80,000 people and we'll have to admit it was a bit poor last night, but we still ended up with 65,000 people last night.
Right.
Last Thursday. You guys playing at Marvel, right? Playing at Marvel are getting a 2-for-1 ticket. That is, they've already conceded before the week started that you do not support your team.
Rocco, mate. I've got Rocco. I've got medallion seats ready to go tomorrow night, mate. You know what? I'm thinking twice about going because I think
Why are they doing 2 for 1? Why are they doing 2 for 1?
It's ridiculous. It's just the AFL. It's all about them getting it onto TV rights, mate. All right, they give you this bullshit about you'll get maybe 20,000, 25,000. That's about it tomorrow night. Okay?
Yeah, because you're a shit side.
It's not about being a shit side, mate.
Yes, it is because we got 80,000 on the Thursday night.
You're a shit side, mate.
But we got 80,000. But we at least go, Mark. We support our side.
You guys are a bunch of no hacks that got nothing else better
all 80,000. All 80,000
on a Thursday night.
So all 80,000, Richmond and Carlton, we're all stupid, are we?
Yeah.
Really?
So yeah. I would have thought as a fan, you go and watch your team.
Thank you.
Regardless what day of the week it is.
Yeah, Mark, do you think if you didn't just get pumped by 10 goals that they'd be saying it's a school night or a Thursday night? After the last 2 weeks that Essendon's fronted up to, I wouldn't go either. But seriously.
I got you out of your bed, mate. You come alive all of a sudden.
After Manny's vicious attack last week and the aggression that you showed me, I thought I might have to stand up for myself, which is the least you could say if I was Ben Mackay.
Anyway,
look at your friggin' brother there out there in Carlton. Is he playing this week? Is he playing?
He's not playing.
He's going for a rough time, like me.
He's not playing.
Oh, really? Oh, right. Oh,
but
right.
I know one thing for sure, Mark. I know one thing for 100%. On Friday night, is that when we're playing? Yeah, we're playing Friday, aren't we? On Friday night at Marvel against the Dogs, we will get much more than what you will get there. And we support our side through thick and thin. Because you know what? Real supporters do that. But your bunch of hacks like you guys, right? Who've done it. You think about it, right? Not only did your team come out and say, "Oh, we're in a rebuild," right? Now they've given 2 for 1 tickets. 2 for 1.
Rocco, at the end of the day, mate,
tomorrow it's going to be free entry.
You guys are playing on a Friday night, Carlton and the Western Bulldogs, which both teams are at their home ground.
Yeah,
true.
What's that got to do with it? I don't understand.
You're going to get. You can only the capacity can only be 45,000.
Yeah,
so
and
you're
going
to get 45,000. It's Carlton versus Bulldogs. We're playing Port Adelaide, which is an interstate side. So we're not going to get your 40,000 on a Thursday night.
We're not going to get 15,000. Like the Essendon supporters should. It's your home game, mate. You should flock that ground.
Yeah, we'll do it on different times.
You should flock it to support your side. Don't give me this poor excuse about, oh, it's a Thursday night for TV rights. What are you talking about? You should support your side.
Yeah, well, we're supporting our team, mate. Don't get me wrong. We're not
at home. You better scream loud.
Why not? At least you can swear and do whatever you want there, mate.
No, you can't. Anyway, listen, Scotty.
Yeah. Just quickly, Mark, considering you guys are rebuilding and you've got a lot of duds chewing up salary cap space on your list, would you be willing to give up Zach Merritt, even if it meant it might set you back 2 years, but it might it might pay dividends in 4?
That's a good question, actually. Good question.
Well, no, I'm not going to answer that question, mate. Sorry, mate.
Oh, come on. You get a real question.
What you're stating is that we're rebuilding. Everyone's talking
He's the only one that you can sell for any value.
Are you rebuilding?
No.
Nah.
Oh, really?
But you guys are.
Is Richmond rebuilding?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so Carl's not rebuilding and they're in the situation they're at the moment. Case closed.
We didn't come out during
I'm not
that.
gonna
We
answer
didn't
your
come
question.
out. We didn't come out during the week and say we were rebuilding,
But I
man.
will not answer that question. Zach Merritt is our player. He's an A-grade player. You get support next year. Don't worry about that.
And that's why you will never succeed, because you are now thinking with your heart and not your head, mate. If you could get rid of Zach Merritt and get 2 first-round picks, you do it straight away.
We don't need
because
to.
you
We've
need
got
10
two
first-round
first-round picks already, mate. What are you talking about?
And they're shit.
We're getting 2 first-round picks already next year, mate. So don't worry about Zach Merritt. He stays at Essendon.
So you get 4.
To answer your question about rebuilding, who's rebuilding? Richmond?
Mark. If I phrase it like this, you might understand what I'm trying to say. Right now, you're contending. If you drop Merritt and refuel, you might be contenders.
Nah. We will not get rid of Zach Merritt. He'll be there for
And
next year.
you'll always be contending then.
We'll always be contending at this stage until we get what we want next year through the draft. And I'm going to guarantee. I'm going to put it to you, this Scotty, mate. I will speak to you next year. I will confirm with you about contending or contenders by mid next year.
So you've already given up on this year.
Don't talk about rebuilding. We've got the players there.
Rebuilding. You're just getting rid of the only player you can actually get rid of.
No,
deserves to play in a better club.
No, you boys
You're going to kill him this year.
You
He almost died on Saturday.
You boys are in a bit of trouble, mate. Even with your captain or your coach and one of your gun players in Curnow, they've got a bit of discrepancies going on at the moment, mate. So you boys better be careful about.
Yeah, we're honest about that fact, Mark. We're honest about that. We know the reality of the situation we're in.
Mark, we're honest about that. And if you watch our show last night, we actually kind of broke that. So we don't need you.
This is tonight's show, mate. This is tonight's show. I'm telling you right now.
You're coming up with something.
Or do you get rid of that player?
Anyway, we're not selling 2-for-1 tickets, mate. All right, Scotty. Thanks, mate, for coming on. I'm going to get the next person on.
So go back to bed, Scotty.
Friday, come to Marvel.
Yeah, so come down to Marvel.
We're going to pack the joint out and see us out front.
Come to Marvel because Scotty's going to be doing a street talk before and after the game. So make sure you catch him. See you, mate.
Love you guys. See ya.
No.
Thanks, mate. Take care, buddy.
All right, I got Seba in there, but what I'm going to do is, because he's been waiting. Hey, we got Oz. How are you, my friend?
Lovely
stuff. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, mate. How you going?
Going well. Yeah, I'm doing well.
How you going, mate? Thanks for the great support, mate. This bloke's a star, mate. He's a great support. He goes to all the games, unlike the Essendon supporters. We're always there, aren't we, Oz, mate? Rain or shine, all the way to the end.
Especially for the Hawthorn game. Yeah.
Yeah, we're always there, mate. Always. Hey, tell me, what do you got to say? You got something to say about Carlton, or have you got something to say to these knobs over here, or what have you got to say?
Well, concerning Essendon, I've got a friend that goes for Essendon, so I feel sorry for him.
Oh, come on, Oz.
I would too.
He goes for Essendon, so... I mean, they haven't played a final in God knows how long.
7,510 days.
Over 7,000 days, yeah.
When was your last flag, Oz? When was your last flag?
1995.
Yeah.
Right.
But we've played in finals since then.
Yeah.
When
was your last flag? When was your last flag?
Rocco, I'm talking to Oz here.
When was your last flag?
2000. When was yours?
It's not like it's any better. It's only like a couple of years later. What happened in 99 when we kicked you out of the final by 1 point? Remember that?
Oh, that was disgraceful, mate. We should have beat you guys. We would have beaten North, mate, that year.
Anyway,
you guys were potatoes. Not a fucking
what have you got?
Oh, here we go. The potato talk again. Oh, no.
What have you got, Oz, mate? So what do you think, man? How do you think we're going to go this week, mate? How do you think we're going to go this week?
Well, if you don't play Cripps in the ruck, I think we might have a better chance. He needs to be more around the ground.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, actually,
We put out the stat yesterday. They've so far played him 15% of the time in the ruck, which is unacceptable.
Wow, 15%.
There was one thing with that. When he was playing ruck in the defensive 50 for you guys against Hawthorn, that was a concern. So Hawthorn have a lot of good on ballers, but they've also got the good smalls, and you're wasting your most competitive midfielder in the ruck when you've got all these guys who need to stop. That was.
Sorry,
I didn't like that.
I mentioned on the Monday Blues that he should be more in the midfield, Cripps, not playing in the ruck.
He should solitarily play no ruck for Cribs. He should solitarily play in the midfield. When you got your best midfielder rucking, then trying to get the ball, right, and then trying to chase the Hawthorn player to stop him, mate, we're going to kill the poor bloke. But, yeah, you're absolutely right, mate. And what else? So Harry's not coming in this week, Oz.
He's not?
Nah, he won't come in. The word is 99% he won't be playing. So it looks like you're going to have Charlie. Should be better for his second game of the year. And then you've got Kemp up there. And we're probably going to bring in maybe Boyd will come in, I reckon. Boyd had a good game in reserves. Yeah, so he'll come in there. And
Boyd might come in.
Yeah, he'll come in, and then I don't think there'll be too many other changes. Yeah. What do we need to do? Oz? What do we need to do to win tomorrow? Or sorry, not tomorrow, Friday.
On Friday, yeah. We need to kick more goals than Footscray. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And we need to defend better in our back half.
Pretty basic stuff there. I like that.
Yeah. But you're right about the defending. Yeah, you're right about the defending.
Yeah, because it was not so good against Richmond, in my opinion. We could have defended better against Richmond, and Hawthorn was good for a few quarters, and then after that we fell away.
100%, man. We held on, but we just couldn't. Like at the end of the day, they were just too classy.
Mind me asking, Oz, how old are you, buddy? Mind me asking? It's a personal question sometimes, but how old are you?
Sure.
Oz?
I turned 38 this month.
Oh, there you go.
So I was only 8 when Carlton won their last premiership.
I was just about to say something about that, but I thought, fantastic. At least you see one flag at least.
Yeah, I've seen one flag, and I've seen 2 grand finals. At least.
Okay. That would have been 99 and 99 would have been 99 and 2000 and peanuts.
2005.
Oh, 2005.
The preseason one. The preseason one, yeah.
I'm going to defend Oz. You talk about Carlton. I mean, what have you seen, Mark? I mean, you've seen the 2000. Before that, when was the other one?
84, 85.
84, 85, mate. Like, they talk you talk like Carlton. Oh, you're worse than us, mate.
I've seen it, mate.
I've seen them too, man. I've actually been to the grand final. I've seen grand finals, mate.
Yeah, so have I.
Don't tell me like now you're starting to say to other people, "Oh, you're laughing."
I just asked the question. I just asked was a question.
What have you seen, mate?
There's a lot of Carlton supporters that are on this show. You know, we all bagged the Essendon Football Club and the Richmond Football Club and the Collingwood. You know, Manny's not here to defend himself. But you know, look, and you know, you got some boys here. They're fantastic fellas. They're coming on. Respect them, but I just want to ask the question of if they've seen finals or if they've won.
I'm here to defend my friends. I'm here to defend my friends like Oz and all the Carlton supporters, and I won't let some nuffy like you try to put us down. If it was Collingwood, if it was Hawthorn, I can take it, but I'm not taking it from a team that won a flag in 2000 and the one before that was 84. Are you serious, bro? And you haven't won a final in
85.
over 20 years.
85.
84, 85.
93.
And 93. Yeah, you won 93. All right, so we won it in 95. You won it in 93, yeah? So I'm not going to sit here and let you just bag and win, really. You're actually one of the most unsuccessful clubs in the modern history.
Yeah, well, we have to make those changes, mate. We have to make those changes. And it will
Anyway,
happen.
Oz, thanks for coming on, man. You said you were going to come on. Thanks, mate. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Oz.
it.
No
Are we
problem.
going to see
Thanks,
you?
guys.
Are we going to see you on? We're definitely going to see you Friday night, aren't we?
Yeah, I'll be at Marvel Stadium this Friday night.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, Oz, I've picked them to
Beautiful.
win. We're going to win on Friday, mate. You watch.
All right.
Done. Thanks,
good.
brother.
All right.
Beautiful.
See you guys.
mate.
Thanks, mate.
Back to the
Hey,
Emerald
listen,
City.
hey, Seba, you're going to have to wait a sec, mate, because I just want to get this bloke on.
Oh,
Look who we got. We got Hawker.
Hey, get in.
we're back.
Ah,
we're
mate.
back.
Glad
Be
you
careful,
came, mate.
Rocco. Be careful, Rocco.
What a performance there. What a fourth quarter performance there from the
Here we
Blues.
go.
I have to say.
What do you think?
Oh,
What do you
yeah,
think of the
Hawker.
game? We want your expert analysis on this game last week.
Pretty rainy. Got to the game like 2 hours early, and it's absolutely like bucketing down. Got drenched. Phone broke. So that was bad. Had to go to the MCG store. There's like a pie shop on the outside. Had to sprint to there, get tissues to clean off my phone. But no, it was a good game. First quarter, we played pretty well, but then I felt like at the end of each quarter, Carlton just like came back and just started dominating. And the second quarter was awful from a Hawthorn point of view. But from a Carlton point of view, it's probably biggest positive. That second quarter, you absolutely destroyed us. You just didn't kick goals, and that was
We didn't finish off, did we?
it was pretty. I was so stressed out though in that second quarter. I was thinking, oh geez, we are getting absolutely belted here. This is not good. But luckily, in the fourth quarter, they all just went home. So yeah, pretty happy with that and got the win.
Yeah, I
Quite
was
well.
always confident that Hawker that Hawthorn were a one goal a quarter better side, and that's why the Hawks won by 4 goals. So I was pretty confident that your boys were just that little bit tad stronger than the Carlton Blues last week by kicking 1 extra goal per quarter, Rocco. But yeah, fantastic boys. The mighty Hawks, mate. Geez, they're looking fantastic, mate. Fantastic.
3-0 seems pretty good.
Knocking
I've
on the
actually
tank, yeah.
nearly ever seen a 3-0. Like in my life, it feels like generations ago we were 3-0. I think the last time was 2014 and we won the premiership. So confident times.
Oh, here we go, mate.
I was saying, you little smart ass, you've seen more premierships than you've actually seen more premierships than my two mates are on the show. They've actually seen more coaches than what you've seen premierships. How's that fucking sound like?
Oh, that's pretty good. Look, we always strive to have the best coaches. Unlike Essendon, they seem to go through coaches like bloody anything. Yeah. Clarko, I accidentally threw up in my mouth though, because during the week I was driving to school and I heard on the radio North Melbourne coach Alistair Clarkson. I nearly threw up in my mouth. I was thinking, no, that's not right. That is not right. Why is he coaching North Melbourne? But no,
yeah, but you got a good one, man. You got a good one.
To be fair, when was the last time we had a bad coach? Like I don't.
Well, you had Alistair Clarkson for like how long? 10 or 12 years. Who was before that? Who was
I think
before
Peter
that?
Schwab was. I think.
He was okay. He wasn't the greatest, but yeah, you've had a few, mate. I mean, you've had a pretty good era, man. Like you said, you've won a premiership in every decade. You know what? You're too young for me to like just bash up, right? Like I'm waiting.
No, come on then.
Also, they did beat you.
Yeah. Also, there's nothing I can say at the moment because everyone's actually striving to play the Hawthorn way at the moment. Like it's pretty exciting, isn't it? Really. Yeah,
but I don't think the Blues fans like. I think there needs to be a bit more positivity. Like the thing about the Blues is that it's not like you haven't got the team. Like you've got such a good team on paper. It is such a good team. It's just
what's the problem? What's the problem?
Yeah, that's what I asked you before, isn't it?
I don't actually. It's weird. No, but they do have depth.
No, they don't.
They got more depth than Essendon, mate. Like, who have you got on your team? Why is that Kako? He's rubbish, mate. He's just a cheap Nick Watson.
Oh, really?
The Wizard is so much better than Kako, and you know it too. But no, I don't know what's wrong. You can't blame the coaching because you've seen how well the coaching can do at times. And I don't know. Could not tell you at all.
It's hard. It's hard for us to even like work it out at the moment. I don't think we've got the game plan, to be honest.
No, your game, that's probably the thing that's lacking.
I think we've got to expand our game plan. As I said, if you look at some of our key indicators like contested ball, you know, all that kind of stuff, we're way above everyone. But it's what we do with after we get the ball. And then the other point is, so I think sometimes, as good as our forwards are, the two main forwards, I think it sometimes looks like a shambles up there. They just can't get it right up there, you know. There's no separation. We were saying there was one mark that I think is it Weddle, whatever his name is, right?
Yeah.
I think it was in the first quarter, man. Like, I think it was your captain who kicked it to him. It was a low burner. It was such a kick, man. And he's kicked it to him, and there was this corridor for him that just
and he's just slid.
Up.
Yeah.
And we were like, the only thing we kept saying was, how was there a corridor there? Like, how was there space for him to run out like that? And there was time to. So there's something going on, you know. It's just not working for us. But
I think your forwards are like. It's always easy for a forward line to look bad. That's kind of like the first thing that looks bad when you're playing, like when you're not playing well, your forward line's the first thing that looks a bit rubbish. So I think Curnow, he did all he could. And the game plan, like, it actually was infuriating me what Carlton were doing to Charlie Curnow, just bombing it long. It's been raining for about 4 hours before the game, and you still bomb it long to Curnow and expect him to mark it. That was a bit infuriating. I was like, why? You know what the conditions are. It's like,
it's the pressure. And I just believe, like, sometimes can't put themselves under perceived pressure that's not there. And as I said before, sometimes what happens, and you'll learn this in life, little Hawker, that when you're under pressure, you always revert back to what you know best and what's easiest, right? Yeah. I remember this in golf. I used to play a lot of golf, you know, and then I remember after about 4 or 5 years, I changed my grip, and I went, and then I kept like I was bad for ages after that because I needed to improve my grip, you know. But every time I wanted an easy out, what did I do? I just reverted back to my bad habits because it was easy. And it feels like Carlton do that sometimes when they're under pressure, where you guys seem to hold the pressure better. Is that because, you know, like you understand your game plan? Is that because you trust your players?
I think the main thing we've built at Hawthorn is that, like, everyone loves each other. I think it's such a good thing to have a team that just all love each other. Like, the team just plays for each other. If they're not going to play for the club or the fans, they'll play for each other and they'll do the best for each other. Like, passing off goals. Like, Ginnivan at Collingwood, you'd never seen him pass a goal. Like, if Ginnivan had a goal at Collingwood opportunity, he'd just go for it. But Ginnivan at Hawthorn, he's so different. He's a pass-first player. He didn't have his greatest game on the weekend, but still... There's a lot of positives. Right.
And you're your song. Wait, before you go, I'll let you talk, but your song is perfect. We're a happy team at Hawthorn. Like,
we are.
What a line. Like, I can't believe it.
Like, the rebuilding phase in a football club is that, like, it's just the most emotionally draining part of, like, supporting a team. It's so awful. You just rock up every week and you're like, geez, we're going to get belted. But, like, we're out of it now, so I can be happy. It's good.
Yeah, you are. What did you say, Mark? What were you going to say?
Yeah, no, fantastic, Hawker, mate. Look, you're a brilliant little young fella, mate, coming on the show. And you're lucky that Uncle Mark here is getting you to come on the show, to be quite honest. But I'm going to give you a tip. I'm going to give you a tip, little fella, all right? I'm going to tell you right now.
Yep.
Last year, the first half of the season, Hawthorn were pretty shit, weren't they? They didn't.
We were awful. Not good. Yeah. Not good.
Oh, mate, they were bagging the shit out of Hawthorn, right?
Yeah.
The second half of the year, they got momentum going. They got their players going, the young kids, you know, camaraderie, and they won a few games. Did they make the finals last year, Walker?
Did we make the finals? We absolutely dominated the finals, mate. What are you talking about?
Well, you made the finals. Did you make the grand final? No. Okay.
We should have.
So the start of this year, you guys have continued that momentum, okay?
Yep.
So when you really think about it, halfway through last year and halfway through this year, Hawthorn are going to continue that momentum, It's going to come down to the end of this year to see where Hawthorn really are going to be at, because you cannot continue winning games from halfway through last year and halfway through this year and continue to win another 4 or 5, 6 games, 8 games, and everyone's saying now that Hawthorn's going to be premiership favourites. Just be concerned, young fella, that Hawthorn from round 15 to 16, this from the Nostradamus here, you will struggle. You might make the 8, but you'll struggle because you boys have had the momentum for nearly 12 months. And you can't.
So I agree with you. I talked about this last week in the fact that I'm worried we're peaking too early. But once again, I don't know. It's tough to say. We have, as you said, like we've been on a winning stretch for like so long now. It is a worry. It is a worry. But I think we'll we'll have a bit of a patch in the middle of the season. I don't think we're gonna just completely, because as soon as we go under pressure, we seem to do really quite well. I feel like we actually played better under the pressure last year. So
you do get where I'm coming from, don't you, Hawker? You do get
100% I get where you're coming from.
I don't get where you're coming from.
You can only get that.
He knows where he's coming from, Ed, because Essendon do it every year. That's why.
That's why he didn't know you're in the finals.
That's why he's explaining it to me.
Hey, listen, as Petrocan said, don't let him confuse you, mate. Listen to me. All you can do is do what you're doing. And at the moment, you're playing a modern-day brand of footy. You're winning the game. Your players are playing well. You're getting coached well. That's all you can ask for, man. And to say that you're going to go down and you don't know shit, man. At the moment, they're playing. That's all they can do, man. And to tell you the truth, like, I hate all teams. But, you know, like, you got to admire when a team's playing well, mate. And at the moment, man, and the thing that I really liked about you guys is you've turned it around pretty quick, man. As you said, did you start 0-5 last year?
Yeah.
0-5. And since that point, man, really, I think you've only lost 2 games by less than a goal. So,
yeah,
mate, that's some form. That is some form, man. And preliminary is arguably, I don't know where Port Adelaide come out and won that game, right? But you could have almost made the grand final. So don't you sit there. What's wrong with you, Mark, mate? This look at him. He's happy, and you're trying to bloody rain on someone's parade, mate.
He's just jealous. He's just jealous about the success.
Come on.
He's jealous.
I'm getting a couple of comments now from these viewers, like, you know, let him go as a young fella. He knows exactly where I'm coming from. Hawker, Uncle Mark will look after you, mate, anytime, mate. Oh, German Broden, Paul Vanderhaar, Robert de Benedict, I'll look after you, buddy.
Right, yeah.
Nah, listen, man.
You've never seen play.
You're a star, man, Hawker. Thanks for coming on, bro. Hey, listen, can you come on every week? You know what? If you come on every week, man, I'll let you talk about your Hawks game.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a good deal. That's a good deal. I'll take on that offer. Thanks, Rocco.
If you can. If you're busy doing schoolwork or something, I don't know what you do, but
the jumper punch comes out of schoolwork. You know
until they start losing.
Yeah, that's it. But if you do come on, man, I'm telling you,
can we get a quick tip for this game? Because I reckon this game, Hawks and Giants, is going to be a wicked game. That's game of the round.
I don't think we've barely really ever lost them in Tasmania. I back us in Tasmania.
No, that's like a second home ground, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon we'll win. But once again, you never know.
I love it, man. I love it. I love it. Hey, thanks, mate. You're a star, Hawker, man. And mate, make sure, enjoy. Oh, you'll be watching it on TV, won't you?
Yeah, not making the trip to Tasmania.
No one goes to Tasmania.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Liam. Thanks, Rocco. Thanks for getting me on.
Yeah. See you, mate.
See ya. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. We've got this flag. He's been waiting in there. Look at him. Are you gaming? Are you? What are you doing?
Mr. Mark. How are we? And Liam, how are you?
We're good, mate. We are good.
Good to be on again. Now.
Hey, before you go, I've just put the link up. Anyone else want to get on? There's that Collingwood supporter, keyboard warrior over there, man.
Don't get me started on that thing. You got
to chat your shit. To come on, but I guarantee
you got to chat your shit in the comments.
Hey,
jump on.
A bit tonight.
You're going to chat your shit in the comments, jump on. Just like me. I front up even though my team's fucking garbage. But
That's exactly right.
I
Mr.
love it,
Mark.
Seba. I love it.
Nah, you're not going to love it now. Mr.
Jump
Mark.
on.
Unfortunately, when I jumped in tonight, after feeding my family of dogs, I had to hear you say that supporters, in other words, can't say what they want to say. They can't bake the players. Again, just like last week, who are you to say what the supporters say to the players and what they, within reason? Obviously, you can't say racist shit and you don't use the cunt at the footy and stuff like that. Fair enough. But who are you to say what supporters like us? Because don't you worry, they've been on a fair few bakings from my end. I pay my hard-earned money. That I break my back every single fucking day to pay for my fucking membership. And these pricks don't show up. They're on an 800K a year and you can't show up to a game because what? You're waxing your vagina because you can't handle the heat? Oh, sorry, or this or that. Or they're going out and getting on the drugs and then, or they're getting pinged for punching on with their teammates. While they're sitting on 100K pretty, they're going home after they're getting done by fucking 20 points to Richmond. And I'm going home like a fucking bacala earning cutsies.
Nah, you're right.
Siva, at the end of the day, that's what you're earning your hard.
Yeah, but you're in that position too.
Is to go and watch your football club play like shit for the last. How old are you again? Oh, sorry, I'm going to ask another question now, Siva. How old are you, my friend?
I just turned 24 yesterday.
Happy birthday for yesterday, wasn't it?
Happy birthday, Siva.
There you go, happy birthday.
It doesn't mean anything. I'm over the hill now. I'm over the hill. I'm 24. That's it. I'm finished.
The body's over the hill because you're more broken than bloody Carlton is.
Siva, I can understand your frustration, man. I can understand your frustration. And that's the funny thing is, my son is 19 years old. And he said to me last week, he goes,
and he said fuck all as well.
He's 19 years old. He said, Dad, he goes, why do you barrack for the Essendon Football Club? And I said, you know what, son? Only because at that time, when I was a young fella, we were successful, and my dad took me to some games, and I barracked for him, and I loved Paul Van Haar. I can remember sitting at Windy Hill, one or two seats behind, and saw his blonde-headed fella taking these stickies, number 18, Paul Van Haar, a Flying Dutchman. And since then, I've loved the Essendon Football Club. He felt that I bagged him for like fucking some bullshit reason. And that's exactly what you're coming from, Siba. Why do you brag for the Carlton Football Club? You tell me. You asked me that question first before I answered.
Unfortunately, because my fucking father went for him. And if your son or daughter or whatever, and if you feel attacked when I say this, then I'm happy you feel attacked. If you are in a household where the dad or whatever goes for, let's just say Carlton, and the son ends up going for Collingwood, you failed as a father.
I agree.
I'm sorry.
But you know what? The kids still, the kids and yourself still barrack for that club, even though you haven't seen that success in 23 years or 30 years. I've seen it. My kids haven't seen it. You haven't seen it. So
I've seen fuck all. I've seen a Wizard Cup, actually. I was there.
I
have the one up. I have the one up on your son. I've seen a Wizard Cup, and I've watched us belt you live in person in the final.
I can understand your frustration because you haven't seen success, and when you go every week and you've got the elders like Rocco and your brother and
so that gives me every right to bake the players.
You're going to go out there and you're going to fight it and you're going to swear at them. You go, you're a bunch of this and you're a bunch of fuck. At the end of the day, you haven't seen the success. So once you've seen it, you might settle back.
Yeah, but circling back to my original question, that gives me every right to bake the players within reason. Because in the end of the day, but in the end of the day, they don't get, once they're gone, they're gone. I'm still here. I'm still stuck in this rubble of shit. I'm still stuck here. I pay $1,000. I mean, look, it doesn't matter. The money's not the thing, but it's the point of We all pay our hard-earned money to go and watch these bunch of buckalars every single week for them to, we feel this, we feel that. How about you shut up and kick the ball normally and actually play as a team and show that you care, not even for yourselves, look, play for us. Play for the jumper. Show that you give a fuck. And you know what? And you know what? Just like they got baked a few years ago against you guys, if it happens again, all power to the people baking them because they deserve it.
Yeah. Because you pay your money.
But just like Michael Voss, when he's got the heat on him in the press conferences and he starts pulling out his fucking smug remarks and smart ass remarks, he'll have his time. And I hope his time when we lose this week, because we're gonna lose, we're not gonna beat the Bulldogs. I'll be happy to eat my words, but we're gonna lose to the Bulldogs. When he gets hounded, I'll enjoy every single second of it. And I hope he gets berated at the players' race when we lose. I hope he gets berated because that's what he deserves. Because he's
you want the club to suffer with when you're not successful. You want to be able to.
The club suffered since what, 2000?
Yeah, but that's my point about.
So what's another week to a year of suffering? Realistically, what is it?
Well, do what Essendon's doing, mate. Rebuild.
I think more to what Seba's guys. You don't want to see your club suffer. Like at the end, I know I sit with Seba at the footy, right? He talks like this. He's the first one to cheer when we get there, right? So, but I understand his frustration. Of course, he wants him to win, and he'd want him to win.
This bum.
Goodbye.
Or this undeveloped bum.
He doesn't work for me. He doesn't.
Or this fake captain.
Oh, come on.
But this bloke here, he's your best player.
Who's that?
He's your best player.
Can't kick.
And he's still a bum.
He can't kick. You're right, man. His kicking's all over the place. But I think what Seba's saying, I think what we're all saying, we don't want him to suffer, but at the end of the day, you can see the writing on the wall sometimes, and you just need, like a Band-Aid, you just need to peel it off, mate, and say, like, gee, you could just see, man, you don't want to keep suffering, man. If you need change, you need change. And a true supporter, man, like I've heard people go, a true supporter supports them no matter what. No. We support them no matter what, but we can be honest about our club. There's nothing wrong with that.
And if you can't be honest, then fuck, what's the point of having fans? And if you can't face the music, just like Uze last year, he copped it. Towards the end of the year, he was copping it. But he faced the music, and he didn't give out his smug ass remarks and this and that bullshit. He just faced the music, and they come in round one, and they pulled their pants down and gave it to us. You know what I mean?
What the?
That's what makes.
You should, man. You should.
But you see, this is the problem with clubs like us and like Essendon. They just can't handle the pressure anymore.
Yeah.
As a footy club, they don't give a fuck about the footy. It's all the agendas first. It's all the agendas first, and then the footy comes last.
Spot on, Seba. The club's always going to be strong. The Essendon Football Club, Richmond, Carlton, Collingwood.
But that's the thing. We will always be there.
Always big clubs.
We'll always be there. I mean, you may not turn up tomorrow night because you got the 1-for-2 deal, but they'll always still have the supporter base. Just like Richmond, they'll always have the supporter base.
Yeah.
But it's sickening that.
It's
I'm not having a go at you. Well, I am, but I'm not. But the fact that some people can say that, but you can't say this to the place. You can't say that. To be honest, I'll say what I like. Within reason, I'll say what I like when I fucking want.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you a question, Seba. Where do you think Carlton will end up this year? Honestly, I know you're going to say they're not playing well. Carlton can turn it around, mate. All of a sudden, they're dangerous as a club. Or I wouldn't say as a club, but as players, they have got some great fucking dangerous players.
We have individual talents. We have no champions. We don't have champions. In my eyes, as a player, to become a champion, you have to win the ultimate. You have to win a flag. That's when you become a champion. We have
So
individual
what-
superstars, but no champions. But where do I
Where-
think we'll finish? Where do I think we'll finish? Me and my brother
Be honest
speak
with
about
me.
this. We speak this all the time. It will be 7th to probably 10th. And it wouldn't surprise me if we don't finish in the 8. I'm just being realistic. And
Well,
because
what about if you boys get a roll on? What if, say, for instance, the next 4 or 5 games you guys win? I guarantee you're going to come up
But
to
it's
me in
just,
5 weeks and say,
but Mark,
we're going to be top 4.
I've said this
We're
to
pretenders.
Rocco. I've said this to Rocco. I've said this to Mars. Me and Mars always say to each other at work, it doesn't matter if you get a roll on, if you beat the Bulldogs and you beat Collingwood, it still doesn't paper over the cracks that we have no depth. We have a failing game plan, which we've seen does not stand the test of a season, nor does it stand the test of time because of the way the game is played. So 2-3 wins in a row is still not going to change my view on that. Voss needs to go because he's got no clue.
Yeah.
Half of our games last year we won on the back of individuals' talents
And coming from behind.
Exactly.
But you know what, Seb, at the end of the day, you're 23, mate. You still got another 30 years to go. You'll be about 53. And
fucking saying I'm going to be dead at 53.
30 years, is that all you're giving him?
You still got another 30, 40 years to go, mate, before the Carlton.
Giving you 30 years, Emma.
And I've got one.
You're going to be Rocco. Rocco's going to be like,
I've only got about, what are you talking about? I'm 54, man. I've got 20.
Yeah, so you'll be 84. You'll be 84. You'll be like,
I won't make it to 84, I'll tell you now.
53. Nah, I got longevity on my side in my family. So I may make it to the big, I hope I make it to the big 1-0. And you know what? Probably still wouldn't have seen a fucking flag.
Man. I've seen you, Seba, with all your bloody injuries, and you're not going to make it. I reckon Mark is onto something there. About 30 years is about the best.
He's conspiracy theory. He's in the grassy knoll. Mark's in the grassy knoll. He
knows, mate. He knows.
But I'm going to head off because I'll stop breaking everyone's balls.
I've seen 4 flags.
I want to give a special shout out to Lana. You're the OG. You're the best. So special shout out to Lana.
Fantastic, man. I hope you're enjoying it. Thanks, Seba.
See you guys.
Thanks, Seba.
See you, mate. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put out the link one more time.
Tips.
And then in the meantime, come on, jump on, and then we'll go. In the meantime, you know what we're going to do? Let's do the tips for next week, huh? First of all, we didn't do the ladder. There was a ladder there, so you can just see the ladder there. So, yeah, Liam, what was going on there? What's going on there?
Looking good so far for young Hawker and his team. Top of the table, 3 wins from 3 games. Our teams, look, not great. Collingwood's in the top 4, but Manny's not here. We don't have to talk about them. We have got a win this season, so we are ahead of you guys. Essendon, is that bottom 4 for Essendon? I thought we were meant to finish down there, not Essendon.
Is that percentage?
And look at their percentages, Carly.
Percentage is 68. That's that's pretty rough, isn't it?
That is rough.
Could be worse. Could be West Coast. They're not a great team, are they? Oh boy.
Yeah. It's going to be a tough game. If you lose this week, I mean, if both our teams lose this week, I mean, it's not going to look good. So anyway, all right, let's have a look. Let's do the tips let's quickly go over the tips for this week, and everyone join in, and make sure you like, subscribe, share while you're there, and also, jump on if you want. The link's there, and and if you get on, we get on, or else. We'll do this. I'm going to put it back up one more time. All right, go. Let's do it. I've got Manny's tips. So let's do our tips. All right, let's do it. Right. Start off with it, Liam.
All right. First game is Essendon versus Port Adelaide on a Thursday night at Marvel. Port actually have a pretty good record at Marvel as well, to be honest. And they have a pretty good record against Essendon. So easy tip, Port Adelaide.
Yep. Oh, far out. This is actually one of those toss of the coins, right? But you know what? If it was at the G, I would have gone for Essendon for some reason. But I'm going to go. I think Port will do it. What do you reckon, Mark?
Oh, look, man. Look, to be quite honest, boys, this is a must even though it's only, a couple of games into the rounds, but it is one of those must-win games for this Football Club. The first game at Marvel, not the MCG. And if you can't beat interstate sides at home, regardless of where you are on the ladder, it's not a good sign. So we're going to get a couple of experienced players come back in tomorrow night. I have got tickets to go. I'm thinking twice about going, but congratulations to a player by the name of Saad Luia, young fellow. We'll call him Saad.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll call him Saad.
His first game, mate. Yeah. Congratulations to that young fella. So, but yeah, we need to win. There's no excuses. Regardless, like I said, where you are on the ladder, you're playing at home, you're playing an interstate side. So Essendon by 18 points for me.
There you go.
Right.
And Manny went for Essendon also. All right. Next one is the Carlton game. Yep.
Ooh.
So Carlton Doggies at Marvel Stadium.
Yeah. Carlton Bulldogs. No, look, it's a tough one. Carlton definitely improved. They're definitely under the pump again to get a win. But you know what? Bulldogs were pretty good last week. They were pretty stiff not to get a win. And same thing, they've got a pretty decent record against you guys in recent times. I'm going to back them in. I think Bulldogs getting the job done.
Yeah, no, look, I don't really trust Carlton at the moment. Obviously, there's a few little issues with their coach and their full forward there, so there's a bit of a discrepancy there. But I think the Bulldogs played quite well last week, so I'm going to back the Bulldogs by 2 goals. Rocco, my apologies, my friend.
Yeah, you don't have to apologise. You don't play for the club, so. Manny went for Bulldogs also. I'm going to give him another chance. I think we can come out and win this week. The Bulldogs did play well last week, I have to admit. But I think if we can hold Darcy, he's probably one of the best defenders out there. I reckon he can do a job on there. To tell you the truth, we don't play well at Marvel. They play good at Marvel. They played better last week. Everything goes against Carlton winning, but you know what? I'm going to go Carlton 11 points. All right, next one.
Where's the next one?
Melbourne.
Saturday, yeah.
It's on Saturday, yep. Yep, Melbourne and the Gold Coast at MCG at 120.
This is a tough one. This is a real 50-50 game. This is where the tipping starts to get hard for me. Hey, Melbourne were really disappointing. Gold Coast, we haven't seen them for a week, but they came out, got their biggest win in round one, like their biggest margin in round one. But it's away from home. I don't know if they can win at the MCG. So I'm going to back the home team, Melbourne.
Yeah, I'm going Melbourne too, just because it's at the G, and I think they got to bounce back after that. After the battering they copped, and then the battering they copped by the supporters, So Melbourne for me. Manny went for Melbourne.
We'll stick with Melbourne. Stick with Melbourne, Rocco.
Melbourne. All right, next game is your game, Liam. It's on Saturday afternoon at Marvel.
That is right.
The Saints, and they just beat.
That is the only concern that I have is that it is at Marvel. That is my only little concern. But I've said you take out the results from St Kilda, take out the results that we've seen from Richmond so far this season. I really do think we are a better team than St Kilda. I don't rate them. I think we're going to have to come out and respond. It's like, well, if that's what you're going to serve up last week, if that's your worst, we want to see better than that realistic. And I really think if we can play close to how we did in that Carlton game, we'll get the job done. I'm doing it. I'm tipping my team. Go Tigers.
I like it a lot. Manny went for St Kilda. Listen, far out. They did play good, the Saints. Yeah, I can't. I'm going to go Saints, man. I'm going to do that. Last week I got punished, man. So I'm going to go for Saints. I think the Saints can do it again. They did actually play well. They beat Geelong, but I tell you the truth, I wouldn't be surprised if Richmond win.
There we go.
Yeah, no. Richmond don't play Marvel at all that well. So St Kilda by 10 goals for me.
10 goals? Oh, mate.
Far out.
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think you're in a bit of trouble. 10 goals. St Kilda are pretty strong at the Marvel Stadium there, so I think they'll smash you.
Sure, that's not the margin for Port Adelaide in your game. 10 goals. Oh, boy.
No, well, I just think St Kilda will just be too strong, way too strong for Richmond at Marvel because you guys don't play well there, so that's the only key. Because at the MCG, different story.
All right, it's his thing. All right, let's go to the next one. Hawks and GWS. This is in Tasmania. UTAS Stadium. All right. 7:30 Saturday night. All right. Manny went for Hawks. I think the Hawks are gonna do it. It's like their second home ground, so I'm going for Hawks.
Nah, yeah, I had a look. These guys had two really close matchups last year. I think Hawthorn won by a goal, and then the Giants won the other by 2 points or something.
Yep.
But yeah, at Tassie, you rarely see Hawthorn lose down there, and they've been on fire to start the season. I've got to stick with them, but I don't know. I'd like to see the Giants win. I prefer them to win, but yeah, I'll tip with Ned. Go to Hawks.
Nice. And you, Mark?
Yeah, this one here, flip of the coin, boys. Here we go. Hawthorn, heads, Giants, tail. Okay, it is heads. So Hawthorn for me.
Right, yeah.
All right, I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, they reckon they probably did, but we'll see how we go.
How did you guys on the ladder? Just quietly.
Yeah, so we got another Saturday night. This is at the Gabba. It is Brisbane v Geelong. All right, I'm going to go. You know what? I said this last night. I reckon Geelong will bounce back. They're going to win this game. I'm going to go Geelong.
No. I hate Geelong just as much as I hate your clubs. But they both had pretty poor performances there last week, that is. Both teams had poor performances in their game. But I do think Brisbane's still my premiership favourite, so I got to stick with them in this one.
Yep.
Mark. Spot on there, Liam. I think Brisbane and Geelong will probably be in the grand final this year, bar GWS. But Brisbane, Geelong, I think Brisbane.
All right, next game is in the Adelaide Oval. Will be on the Sunday, 3:20, and you got Adelaide v North Melbourne. North Melbourne, surprisingly good last week, and they do look good. They got some new, but they're a young side. They're going to go up and down. Adelaide, I'm telling you, they look strong. So I'm going to go Adelaide, especially over there at Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, I think you're right. The home ground advantage is good. If it was in Melbourne, you give North a chance, but also credit to Adelaide, like you said, they've played really good. I have them in the top 8 this year, so I'm sticking with Adelaide.
Yeah. Mark?
Yeah, well, Adelaide, the last 2 weeks, they've kicked 45 goals, so that seems to be very scary for the rest of the teams out there. So, yeah, Adelaide for me, they'll kick 20 goals this weekend, at least.
Yeah, I'm going to go, that's it. Or everyone's gone Adelaide. And the last one is West Coast Fremantle. That is at Optus Oval. This is your home turf there. You'll be watching. This is, what is it? This is their rivalry. What is it? What do they call this? Do they call
Western Derby. I will be there at this game. It's always a great match. It's always a great match.
And it's a great 6, 10 and 9. I've been to Optus, mate. It's a great stadium. And it's very picturesque. And I love the bar. What is it? What's the bar just next to it? The Cambridge.
The Camden,
what is it?
Yeah, the Camden.
Mate, top venue.
No, Camfield, not Camden. Ooh.
Oh, Camfield, whatever it was, top venue, man. Just walking distance, outside, inside on a hot night. It was a good venue. But anyway, enough of that. I think far out. West Coast actually played all right, but I'm going to go Fremantle.
Yeah, look, West Coast, they had a much improved performance. Fremantle really annoyed me because they were ahead all game and then they lost, which was disappointing to check. But yeah, look, I know my dad's probably watching and wants me to tip West Coast, but Freo's the better team. They've got the better team. They're going to beat you. Go Freo.
That's it. And you?
Yeah, Freo for me, guys. Freo for me.
Right.
I really don't give two shits about it, but Freo for me.
No, well, it's for the tips, isn't it? That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff, man. All right, let's take this one out. What are we doing here? Remove. All right, beautiful. And then if we go quickly to the ladder, as you can see, I got 2 last week. I think Manny got 6. I think.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think you got 4.
Liam.
And Liam got 5. Yep,
No.
there it goes,
mate. Same as the ladder, mate.
Yep.
No.
Carlton and Essendon lifting up the other teams.
Yes, it is too. It is too, man. It is too. So I really copped a beating last week, man. Only 2.
Anyway, mate. What happened there?
Tell me about it.
It's
I don't
all
know,
right,
mate.
We'll get there. It's only the start
know.
of the season, mate. Remember? It's only the start of the season.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. All right, guys. It doesn't look like anyone else wants to come on because they're all scared. So it's 10 o'clock anyway. Yeah, it's been a good night. I think we had a nice, robust discussion there before. I think it's good to have different opinions. I hope everyone enjoyed it. That's what footy's about, mate. It's about opinions. We give this format, we give them this platform here so people can have a bit of a chat. Thanks for everyone who jumped on. You got Hawker and the Magpie guy and Aaron and Oz. Thanks, Oz, mate. Always a great supporter. And that's it. Everyone like, subscribe, share. Make sure you do all that. As I said, that it doesn't take you much to do. It doesn't cost you anything. Just subscribe and like, man, and it helps out the channel, man. And also for all the blue baggers, make sure you get on to Try Booking. Look it up. It's called the TJP Catch Up. Get your free tickets. We've already got about 50 people coming. It's the first of the 5 or 6 interstate games we'll be doing at the Sporting Globe, proud sponsor of the Jumper Punch. Get down there. There's going to be lots to do, lots of fun, win or lose. At least we're together, man. That's the main thing, mate. So that's the main thing. You guys, thanks for coming on, man. Even though I hate your team, I love your passion, man. I love your passion.
Boom. We love it. We love it. Good work, legends.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks, everyone, for coming. And let me
go the mighty.
Blue Baggers. Go the Blues. Go the Blues.
That's right. Richmond.